Welcome back to another episode of the Infinite Podcast. What a fantastic couple of weeks we have had. It has been huge. Everyone loved the showcases except for me. You guys are all going to fucking hate me for the shit I'm going to say today, but it's going to be an amazing show. Before we get into that, Umbra, welcome back. How's your week been? What have you been up to? You were the first here today. I mean, you weren't really here.
You know, I believe in punctuality. You know what I mean? And I try to impart that on Holly and my brother Donte. You know, just being punctual. And I just feel like I want to make sure that they understand about the professional standards that you set forth, Riskit. And sometimes they falter. Sometimes they falter. Typically, it's Holly. It's Donte is usually on the money. But
it's not Holly. It's Evie Mux. Evie Mux. Rhyme that last word, okay?
Evie Mux, it tucks and sucks, and it's unfortunately, but what the ucks? Okay, let me stop. Anyway, no, seriously, it's been a good week, man. Mm-hmm. We are obviously still have the afterglow of Summer Game Fest and everything like that. Saw all types of images from our friends and brother Donte and everyone out there, man. I'm excited for you guys, and I don't know, we had a good time enjoying these shows. What's going on with you two? And
Big Bad Mo. Big Bad Mo.
He let in with the "you suck" Riskit, and then he went in the "no shit,
caps.
You didn't like it." Go fucking figure.
He's in caps. He's in caps today.
Yeah. Big all caps Mo is on the loose.
You better watch your butt, Riskit.
You better watch out. But yeah, no, man, it's been a good week. Had a great show yesterday. Had my brother Lucius and Soil Tech, who you all may have met out there, Donte, on the show the other day. Good show, man. Good talk. I got some pushback as far as my overall score for the showcase. So I am interested in hearing everyone's takes on this, although I think I've been privy to a bit of it, and sharing it with everyone here in the chat and such, and going over what we saw.
He's still going. They didn't have what I wanted. Boo fucking who. Well, I mean, that's why you like a showcase and you don't, bro. Like, what do you want me to say? They didn't have anything there for me.
You know what's interesting?
But we'll get into it.
You know what's odd?
Samuel Elmo.
You know what's odd is that I see Big Man Mo here inside this Evie Mux thing. Oh, now there he is. Now he popped up on the YouTube. At first, it wasn't popping up. His name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a delay on YouTube.
No,
some of them
they won't even show him until now.
Oh,
some of them pop. So for me, it'll pop on YouTube before it pops on Evie Mux, but it could be for you guys because the program's not running off your rig. It'll probably pop around the same time or one before the other. Holly, how's your week been? Why are you angry? How's things? What's been going on?
Chat, this might be my last episode. Riskit refuses to listen to me. That sound. That's what happens when you refuse to listen to me. This program is the worst streaming program in the history of programs. You could get a tin can with a string and ship it to somebody and leave the string to cross the country, and it would work better than this thing. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's the bane of my existence. And that's what made me mad, and Riskit won't listen to me. So tell him in the chat that you want me to stay on the show and get a new program, because
Fantastic.
that we're at DEFCON 1. We are at DEFCON 1 on this thing. I yelled at him like I've never yelled at anybody else in my entire life.
I approve this message.
I approve this message.
I'm not the only one.
This message is brought to you by Holly. It's not the view of the rest of the show.
Yeah, I might become a viewer, not a talker. I really liked the Xbox showcase. I thought it was fantastic. I thought Summer Games Fest was very good as well. I don't know what else to say except that I guess we'll talk about all this stuff in a little bit, right? Oh, yeah, I did play Mind's Eye Tuesday when it came out.
Oh, sorry for you. I'm so sorry.
How was that? How was that? Horrific experience.
Yeah, you were.
I watched Yeah.
Yeah, he came in to trash talk me for a little bit. He trash talked Cyberpunk for some random reason. But look at all these people that agree with me, Riskit. Come on. The
Oh,
people have spoken.
they're simps. Mo, I see you simping, Mo.
What?
Mo.
What?
Nothing. Holly is worth simping over. I see you guys.
Haters.
I get it, guys.
Haters. I get it. Anyway, no, Mind's Eye, surprisingly enough, played very well for me. I had zero crashes. I had a little trouble getting it started because apparently shaders are cold and they need to warm up. It's a thing. And that's not that game though. That's a lot of games. But I had zero crashes. I had zero issues performance wise. AI is a bit dumb, which whatever. But the voice acting is really good. The music is fantastic. I love the music in it. And I'm only 2 hours in, so I did hear that it can get worse as it progresses, right? As far as performance and stuff like that. Stop making the faces. It's my turn and you haven't played it, so you can't talk shit about any of it because you haven't played it. Have you? Have you? Have you?
I mean, it looked fantastic. Looked like really engaging and fun, and nothing like a 2006 game that we've probably played 100 times before. But do continue.
Okay. Well, see, that's what happens when you judge things without like trying it on yourself. So we'll see. But I enjoyed my time with it. It's obviously not like a 9 out of 10 or like a high caliber experience, but it's kind of like I think of it kind of like popcorn movies that like aren't that they're not super high budget like Mission Impossible blah blah blah, right? But like it's a good time, and if you take it for what it is, it's all right. But I played on PC. And I heard that consoles are not very good yet or ever. But as of right now, they're not very good.
Yet or ever.
Or ever.
Depending. I don't know. Look at Cyberpunk.
She's joined the ranks of the PC master race.
Yes.
Donte.
Welcome to the ranks. Welcome to the ranks, Holly.
I saved the best for last. The true console fan. Because I want to hear about
the program.
I want to hear about Fanfest. How did it go? How was seeing everybody? I missed everyone. I wish I was there, man. Like it looked like it was pretty cool. It was good to see. I know that before we get to you, I know that Aaron Greenberg came down. I saw J Ron down there. Love me a bit of J Ron. He is like a big cuddly teddy bear. And if I get drunk enough, I'll cuddle him and pick him up and shake him around like I did with Skill Up. But it looked like a good time. Spion, I missed it. And I'm hoping that Xbox brings the heat next year. And that they do I have my theories on this, and that they do a fan fest next year for it. But how was it? How did it all go? How was things, man?
Yeah, man, I'm still. I sent out a message earlier saying that I'm still kind of living off the high of it. But yeah, man, like last weekend was great. We somehow managed to like pull it all together, kind of at the very end, and we were kind of a little nervous because there was like some technical things we were trying to figure out, like literally the night before and going into the day of. But it actually ended up like just all basically kind of coming together right before like the doors open. And like I left my hotel because I had a hotel like pretty much really close to the event, and I left my hotel and I got there like around 8:00, and there was already a line outside of people waiting for like the pre-show and stuff. So I was like, oh well, like we're onto something here if people are already showing up. So I got to sit there and spend good time with our boy Fonz. Shout out to Khalif, to Paris for coming through.
Paris was there?
Yeah, Paris.
I mean, that would have gone really badly if I'd turned up, I reckon. Sorry. You got
that whole crew came through. I'm trying to think.
Let me go back to that. He's a big man. He probably beat me to a pulp, but that I got a mouth on me that just doesn't control itself. So I would have been like a bloody mess. I'll probably
Yeah,
need to get
well,
medical.
let's hope.
I'll
Let's
need
hope
medical insurance
none of that
next time I
happens.
go over. I'll make
Yeah.
sure I get medically insured, and then I'll go over and I'm a mouth off when I see Paris. I can't wait. It's gonna be a good time.
Can you imagine Paris,
Paris.
like talking smooth to you as he beats you up, Riskit? Would that be cool?
In the comments,
I'm telling you, that's a big man.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
that is a big man. As a man, you don't
I
fuck
didn't
with,
wanna
and
do
I'm the
this to
kind of
you.
guy that does that.
I didn't want to do this to you, but you brought this upon yourself, and he just starts beating you up. Like,
Yeah.
what would you feel about that? I would feel emasculated. I don't know.
He's like, hit me with that. If he's like, knives,
Something you have to
pitchfork.
think about.
Never said it.
afterwards.
Never said it. Never said it.
But yeah, shout out to Paris, to Danny Pena, his wife. They came through. They were part of our pre-show panel. Then after that, then we had Jason Ronald and obviously the big man Aaron Greenberg came through with their crew. So it's about like them and a few other people from Xbox who came with them, and we got them all situated in the Kings, the Iron Lords were there. King was there. All the Iron Lords showed up. Got to hang out with great people from the chat. Nerds was there. My boy BT Maverick was there. Soiltech was there. Yeah, man, it was just a really incredible time. The energy was the thing that was the really cool factor, because the crowd was really, really hype. It was a really diverse crowd, and it was really, really, really good energy. Like, you can see everybody was like super engaged, and it's like that's the whole reason why we wanted to do it. We wanted that feeling, and it's like we managed to capture that feeling, and it was a moment of kind of just feeling proud for ourselves as to, like, it started out as an idea, and then like, shout out to Ben Kenobi for basically kind of spearheading the whole thing, and then our boy Wog for being the man on the ground, Hargeet Chani for doing a lot of the legwork as well, Sean Labrie. It was just like, Ains. It's like everybody just basically kind of pulling together and making it happen for the fans, and it just turned out to be a really, really great time. So I'm just still on the high of it. It was a really good time, man. Wish you guys would have
all
been
jokes
able to come down for real. Wish you guys could have been there and with us. Asante, forgot you, my brother. Asante was there with us as well in the trenches, all helping us out, getting everything going, dude. And everybody chipped in. We wouldn't have been able to do it without all the help we had, and also all the fans showing up and just making it a really live event. So it's like, if anyone's listening who showed up there, again, I just want to send my biggest thank you to you guys, because without you guys and your energy, it would not have been the success that it was. So thank you guys again. Appreciate it.
Magnum, who's bashing on the keyboard? That is your girl, Holly. She doesn't know what the mute button is. Clickety clacks over there. Look at the anger.
Look at that face. It's just like, yes. Say one more word.
Bobby, I'm gonna try to turn it up some.
She's like a super villain.
I was going to say that you were kind of low.
Yeah. We're talking a little bit more like this.
There you go.
Boost my game up a little bit.
There you go.
All right.
So I'm hoping I've still got sound, because I do. Look,
Happy Bomb, apparently you ruptured her eardrums. Apparently,
was it me?
Yeah,
ears Riskit. You're way louder than Donte. Let me just bring it down. Let me bring it down a little bit. Is that better?
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Let me break it
Hey,
down.
girl, how you doing tonight?
It's because I don't have enough bass in my voice. Is probably what's going on
Happy
here.
Bomb said, "Oh, my ears, Riskit."
That's I make all the girls scream. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Whoa. Sorry.
Yeah, I screamed at him a lot about 10 minutes ago.
There you go.
Not the way it was.
I never said it was a good way or a bad way. I just said I do.
He still technically told the truth.
I love to see what you guys did. Shout out to Ben Kenobi as well for setting that out. He reached out early. I wasn't able to get it. I was in the middle of a huge mobilization for work, which is finally over. Thank God I've got some time off. So looking at online, it looked like an absolutely fantastic time. And I'm spewing that I missed it. The one thing that I have an issue is fans shouldn't have to do that.
Thank you.
Like, we shouldn't have to put our own thing together. That's not why I didn't go, because I would still go. Absolutely. A shout out to everyone who pulled together and made it happen. Would be good to see absolutely everyone. It's good to see some of the bigger names in the community, even Paris, turning up and supporting that as well. So, like, shout out to all those guys who the bigger creators who don't need to turn up and show their support. So shout out to them. Shout out to Greenberg and Jason Ronald for showing up. Absolutely fantastic. That those guys would take time out of their obviously busy week schedule with all the showcase stuff going on to come and spend some time with the fans. So yeah, that is one of the great things about Xbox. And I'd like to see next year, Phil, if you're listening, you do something for the fans like you always did every year. It was an absolutely fantastic time. And yeah, I'm glad you guys you sort of captured that feeling. So it looked good. Yeah. So for me, this week, man, I'm still on Expedition 33. I'm pretty close to the end. I think I'm right at the end.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I'm underpowered. I've realized I'm underpowered, and I may have to go back and do a little bit of.
What level are you?
45.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the end? The monolith?
No. So I did the monolith bit.
Oh, okay.
And then
so past that.
you have the fight, and then you realize the stuff, and then you go into the next.
You got to fight the two. You got to fight the two thing. Oh wait, you've already done the two things, so you're trying to go back and
Simon.
fight what's his face.
Yeah.
You cannot. I don't think you can go down at 40 something to meet Simon.
Oh no.
I don't think you're ready for that.
No.
No, he's not ready for Simon. No, not at all.
I'm 89.
I want to change my
I'm
name to
still
Simon,
stuck
so I
there.
can.
Step your levels up, fam, or just avoid
I wanna-
Simon.
Simon says,
I'm gonna-
don't try him.
Yeah, just avoid
I'm
Simon.
gonna,
if you're not going to.
I'm gonna change my name to Simon so I can tell women that they're not ready for Simon. Talk about myself. You're not ready for Simon. You're not ready for Simon.
You gotta say you ain't ready for this girl.
Well, he's like, shut the.
Say it, Riz. Say you ain't ready for this girl. I want to hear how you say that.
You ain't ready for this, girl.
Oh, there it is. That's the money shot.
That's it.
That'll work. I promise you that'll work. Do that.
G'day, love. How you going? You ain't ready for this.
Salutations, baby.
Salutations. I'll do it in the Aussie. Salutations. How you going?
You can break Umbra.
Donte's
He's
like-
just gonna crack.
Donte's face is like, this whatever this isn't right. Move on.
I'm gonna let y'all have it, man. Y'all enjoy that. I'm gonna let y'all do that.
Yeah, Dante, it's not working. It's not working on him. It only works on the
Do your
ladies.
thing.
Dante.
Do your
That's
thing.
why you're like repulsed by it. I get it.
So we've got to jump into the first topic. Before I do, just a sort of bit of an update. I've had a real busy life, doing that whole thing for that project for work. That's almost complete, pretty much complete. Just going to do a bit of stabilization work, and once that's done, should be back to my sort of normal, hopefully. So yeah, things should normalize. You shouldn't miss any shows. Hopefully, everything should come back, and I can hopefully start adding a little bit more content to the channel. We'll see how things go. Let's jump into the first topic. The Xbox handheld or not an Xbox handheld? So if you guys, I just want to jump into this straight up because it seems to be a lot of upsetness, a lot of anger, and it all seems to be coming from one side of the community, and I don't understand it. So and I do remember this is an Xbox ad when that was going around. There was a lot of guys from that specific side of the community laughing, joking, and saying that everything was an Xbox, and that was great. And now as soon as we get a handheld that is very much Xbox focused, no, that's not an Xbox. So I'm a bit confused as to the goalpost moving. Well, I'm not really confused. They do it every time, so I'm pretty used to it by now. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, Xbox and ROG have partnered to bring a new handheld. So it's got the Xbox grips. From all accounts, all of the I played, there's a lot of guys who, check out the Iron Lords, check out Destin. There's a lot of guys who have spent a bit of time with this new ROG, and all the reports have been super positive. And I think most of the super positiveness has come out from the software that it's running on. Apparently, they've made a lot of work. They've done a lot of work in the background to you won't have your Finder toolbar running. You won't have all that stuff that runs in the background for Windows 11. It's just operating the actual gaming system. Apparently, there's a lot more work to go into it to smooth it out. But from all reports, this looks amazing. Now, is this an Xbox? That's a question I want to get into a little bit later. But guys, we've been telling you for quite some time this is the way they're going, and I think this is the first toe in the water for what they're doing. But we'll get into that a little bit more later. Umbra, is this an Xbox? Or is this a PC?
It's
or
both.
are they now one and the same?
It's both. It's interesting to me. I mean, to me, it's so stupid, the argument, because it comes down
Right.
to it comes down to the thought of, well, that doesn't have all the functionality and blah 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 blah. And I get it, but like we all know, it's all marketing. We know that when they're saying this, it's saying, hey, you'll be able to access your games here on this device. Like we know that, and we know that they're working toward that, right? Um, I would call the name of it out, but I don't want anyone claiming that I have fake sources or anything. But there's a project for
Who
this
would
that they're
do that?
working on. I don't
Who
know,
would
man.
who would personally attack you and say that you're lying and have fake sources? Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I don't know, but
What a weird thing to do.
it is very weird, but it's interesting. I like where they're going with it. You can see that more and more. They when Sarah came out there and announced 1,000 plus play anywhere, the whole entire point is to eventually bring everything you own over, right, and have it all digitized, so to speak. Now, I've seen people muddy the water and say, "Well, what about physical? I can't play physical." Well, that's the entire point of play anywhere. You can't have that and have a physical anyway, right? So
Wait. When they say physical, are they talking about like inserting a disc?
literally,
Yeah.
Get
yeah.
out of here. Get out of here.
That's what I mean. Like,
Ew.
it's everything they can
Ew.
use to try to dismiss the message of this is an Xbox. They've tried to do, and so obviously for those who are being really steadfast, sure they have to make sure to carry over our entire owned library. Right, that has to happen for this to really stick. But that's exactly what they're aiming to do. They're building toward that. It's not going to, initially it's not going to have that, but they've already had a good start with 1,000 plus. Well, not, yeah, excuse me, 1,000 plus games at launch for this thing when it goes live. So they're headed that way. So I just find it disingenuous when people act like and pretend like they don't get it when they see the messaging of this is an Xbox. You know what they're meaning when they say that, and it having this unified UI and OS put into place by Microsoft with working with ASUS here to bypass the Windows part. So yeah, is it an Xbox? Yeah, well, to me, it's both, right? But there's a caveat to where you don't barely use anymore now. Riskit. There's a caveat. Of course, it has to be them eventually bringing our entire own library over. Then that messaging will fully land. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's a good point, Kay. And by the way, before Xbox was attached to ASUS, you would get positive messaging, and maybe none at all. Like maybe people didn't really talk about it. But now that Xbox is attached to it, suddenly now it's bad, and that shows you what it really is that people are more concerned about. It's not a matter of this. No, I want the truth and the facts of what you're claiming it is. No, it's just really that you're just mad that Xbox is tied to anything that seems positive. That's all it is. And that's where all this messaging and hate comes from. And like you pointed out, when they're like, everything is Xbox, everything can play it, and everyone was laughing at that messaging before until it got attached to this, and then all of a sudden, nope, that's not it, like you said. And I saw Sean LeBrie even tweet that, by the way, but it is funny. So
that's exactly so Sean LeBrie's I was having that line of thought to talk about on the show, and he like put it so succinctly. He's like, this was all good, but now this is not good. And it's just a constant goalpost shift, and you see it every time, and it's sort of sad. We can't just enjoy a new piece of hardware, and it's not everything I was hoping for personally, because that's not what I want. It's not particularly what I wanted. I wanted to be able to play my my console games on it as well, but I think that's down the line. But before we get to what I think, let's jump in. Holly, how you feeling about this new ROG Xbox ASUS Ally, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Is this, you don't have a handheld as of yet? Is this something that you'd probably look to getting?
I've had an Ally for 2 years. Yeah.
Is it out of the box?
fair question.
This is what I do. I wait till someone's angry, and then I try to make them angry. I'm sorry. Look at that.
That's why he has so many friends.
Look at the malevolence. Look at the malevolence.
It's the Doom around her. The Doom Slayer helmet and everything is, I think, is just giving her that energy. Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's like the evil angel on the shoulder. So how you, so what do you think? Do you think this is going to shift you from your ROG that you already have? Are you going to shift over to this, or how you feeling? Disappointed? Happy?
So I am tempted to try this one out, but I have a hard time justifying buying another one when I have the one that I have. There's a few things about mine I'm, somewhat unhappy about, but I think it's a good little system, especially for kind of being the first iteration from ASUS. I would love to be able to sell it and get enough out of it to justify the upgrade, but I don't know that I would. We'll see. I might check into it a little bit, but because I don't know, like the lower end model might be fine, but I would really only be interested in getting the higher end model if I
Same.
did upgrade, especially because the first ASUS ROG Ally, like the higher level one was really the one you wanted. The lower end one had some issues running games. I personally, and I'm not interested in getting into the silly console war crap about whether it's an Xbox or not. That doesn't matter to me, nor do I care.
But is it? Is it an Xbox?
I'm not interested in getting into the console war crap of it, nor do I care.
But is it an Xbox? Do you think it's an Xbox?
My personal opinion about the system on the whole is the fact that it is a mini PC handheld, because it's exactly the same thing as what my Ally is currently.
I'm sorry.
The difference is that the like I'm not in the mood, man. I'm really not in the mood.
Oh shit.
The difference it's the
Leave her
difference
alone.
it's like, just stop. Like, the difference is that like it has a really nice grips on it, like it's almost like an actual controller versus the current Ally, right?
Yeah.
It's not as form factor comfortable as I wish it was. And it looks like this new one has some really nice handles like on the side that make it very comfortable to play. It does exactly the same thing as the one I have now, except that it's going to have a more streamlined Windows integration, which is what this one desperately needs.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems with the one that I have now. And the other problem is, well, it's not a problem because when I bought it, it does all these things. But the one extra thing that the new thing is going to have is that the Play Anywhere titles, and there's 1,000 of them now, and that will grow over time, right? It's not just stopped there. Plus, all of the Xbox games going forward are going to be part of the Play Anywhere, right? So those future ones will also come to this. But any purchases you did make in the past digitally, once they make it into the Play Anywhere program, you'll have access to those on this system. And I don't think that that's going to go back compat to previous allies. So that is one reason, right, to upgrade.
So you're saying the games, you don't think the games will back compat to the old allies?
I don't think they're going to I don't think they're going to put Play Anywhere on the older allies. I think it's going to be tied to this new one and
to the Xbox branded one.
Correct.
Versus the standard ROG Ally.
Correct. But there's not much difference between them besides that and the form factor. And of course, right, it's got like between mine and this, right, it has 24 gigs of RAM, which I saw online is like more than the Series X or something like that, right? It's a lot of RAM for a handheld. And it's got a terabyte of storage, which is a lot as well for the big one, right? For the more expensive one.
Yeah.
The X, yeah.
So that's really good. I think all of that is really, the specs on this thing seem not as I'm not a hardware person, nor do I pretend to be, but it seems like really good kit for a handheld.
Yeah.
Which is exciting, right? It's really nice. And now that, you know, I was initially like, well, whatever the ROG Project Kennen thing is, I don't care. I'm just going to wait till there's an actual Xbox One. But now that one has been put on the back burner, it's like, okay, well, maybe this is the one that you eventually, you know, upgrade to, change to, buy as your first one, whatever it is, knowing that that Xbox One isn't going to be as close as we were anticipating it to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, he stopped talking and then he come back on video. But I think what Kay's saying up there is the software updates will come to the previous as well. I don't know about the Play Anywhere. That's a good point to throw in there. There's a couple of things that I liked. Well, I like the handheld. I think it's really, really good. And probably I'll start stepping towards getting one of these. It's not exactly what I wanted, but I like where they're headed. But there's a couple of things that I'm a little bit disappointed in with the Ally X, the ROG Xbox Ally X itself. But I'll jump to Donte if you're there, and just get your sort of take on something that you would buy. Is it an Xbox? I know Holly won't answer, but do you think you consider this to be
one quick thing just for chat, because they were kind of pointing out. Sorry. One quick thing there, because I just saw that they were pointing out like that my old Ally is gonna get the upgrades of like the big windows, you know, like the modified windows. Totally agree. All of that is going to get applied to my Ally. I don't think Play Anywhere is, though. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's coming. And then also the form factor is obviously something that's non-negotiable. But anyway, I'll shut up now. Sorry.
No,
go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Get that clarification. All right. So the question is it an Xbox? Was that the question?
Yeah. Is it an Xbox?
It's an Xbox. Okay. So all right. So like all of us know that obviously this is an Xbox is somewhat marketing, right? I don't know. So it's based on how people want to take it. To me, I think the idea of it is that it is a software solution, so that for those of us who are part of the ecosystem to get into the Xbox ecosystem. So if you're someone who traditionally is looking at it like, is this a console? Well, no, it's not a console, right? It's more of a PC with modified Windows, so that way it could basically be able to run the PC version of Xbox games and also Steam games and Epic and so on and so forth. So if you're looking at it from a console's perspective, no, it's not an Xbox console, but is it a device that gets you into the Xbox ecosystem? Yes. Does it have all the games that we're probably going to want it to have? Not right now. Who knows how that might kind of play out as they continue to enhance the Xbox Anywhere. So yeah, for that particular purpose, yes, it's an Xbox, and I think that's ultimately what Microsoft is trying to do right now with their strategy for all of their devices, which is we want something that is going to be the entry point to get you into our ecosystem to play your games, and if not other games that you have through other storefronts that you may have bought, but mainly our games, right? The games that you've purchased, and if they can somehow get some of the games, like a lot of the games from our old library, to be in there, that would be cool. I think this one's maybe a little bit more forward thinking. So it's like, you know, like if the PS4 isn't playing certain games that were on the PS3, you're not saying that it's not a PlayStation, right? It's still a PlayStation. There's just probably certain games that are going to get left behind. But I think they want to make it where probably at least a lot of the big games that were available within like the Xbox One and the Series generation, I'm hoping that those will eventually kind of become part of that Play Anywhere, and then every game going forward being part of Play Anywhere. So in that regard, you know, sure, it's an Xbox. If that's how they want to label it, cool, I'll call it that. It's not a console, but it's an Xbox. I can get into the ecosystem. You know, like we talked about this a few weeks ago, where it initially got announced, and I was not enthused because I was more excited about the idea of an Xbox branded device, right? They managed to convert me. So kudos to them, right? I went from completely being not the person, not the target market for this, to someone who's like, wait, okay, cool. So you're working on a device that's going to have a more streamlined, modified version of Windows. So that way it's, you know, more focused on basically launching and playing the games. I'm getting that experience of the Xbox kind of OS that you're using for me to like navigate, right? And I'm basically going to be able to have something that has a really great form factor and feels like some like an Xbox controller. So to me, that went from something like, oh, like I could use that. While I was traveling in LA this weekend, I wouldn't have to take my device with me, right? I would have this type of device while I'm chilling in the hotel, not doing anything to be able to play games if I still wanted to. So yeah, I went from someone who was completely not in the market for any type of handheld device to like, yeah, this might be the device that I would get, especially now. Like, I saw Tom's tweet where he was, or his thing for his paywall thing, where he says that like essentially the Xbox branded one is dead, but then Jez had another. He responded to that particular one where he's like, that's not technically official, that they still have plans that they want to do it, but it who knows, that could change, but they still do want to do it. But it makes it seem more like it's less likely, right? Or if it's going to happen, it's probably not going to happen for quite some time. So this to me made the route I would get the X version, right? So the high end one version of the device. It makes that one become a device that it's like, yeah, might as well, what I'm saying? Like if you're going to get into the handheld market and you're part of this Xbox ecosystem, that seems to be the one that's finally going to entice me to get into the handheld market. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So for me, I was sort of sitting in the same, well, I'm being hacked as we speak.
Hacksaws, hack the planet.
So for me, I was in the same sort of, I was feeling the same about it as you. Like I wanted a specific Xbox handheld directly from Xbox, plays natively my console games. And then I would have liked to have seen it playing these PC games as well. But I think that a comment or a leak that came out probably over a year ago sort of feeds into this. But before we jump into that, so my issue with this particular one, and I like the handheld, it looks amazing, and I'm probably going to get this. The only issue I have with this is I like the jump that they've made from the ROG Xbox Ally to the ROG Xbox Ally X, and that'll definitely be the one that I would get. That's the one I'm going to go after, especially with the battery power. I need as much as I can get, just the way that I travel. My issue is, why couldn't we go on OLED with the screen? There's no real upgrade with the display, and I think that would have been a bit of a win. They're probably trying to keep the pricing down, and I can completely understand that.
Probably battery too, right? Because I think the
probably battery life
would probably drain a little bit more battery.
Yeah, that too. But I just feel like it needed a bit more of a screen upgrade, and I think that they'll do that later on down the line. As to, is this an Xbox? And it's not from the console worry side. Sort of it's a real question as to what is this thing and what is Xbox now. And to me, I guess you got to ask yourself, what is an Xbox now? Like, what is the next iteration of Xbox? What are they doing? And we've been saying this for quite some time, since we heard in the background. I think it was around about the 4 Games podcast. There was just a lot of information leaking out of that boat.
It's the ecosystem. I mean, that's what it is now. Xbox is the ecosystem.
But what is the next Xbox? So you've got to think, like, I mean, when you look at what they're doing with this display, this is what we've been saying that they're going to do. They've integrated Steam. When you look at their storefront, the new storefront that they've got there, they've integrated Steam. When you boot up your My Games, it has absolutely everything there. It's your Steam games, it's your Epic games, it's your itch games. It's all those games available in that store and in one integrated spot, right? And that's what we said they're going to be doing with the next Xbox. That is what I believe they're going to be doing with the next Xbox, and it makes sense for them to do that, because that's their play anywhere strategy. You can't then release a piece of hardware that just does not fit into your strategy and sits outside of it. And so when I said there was a rumor that leaked or something that they believe Sarah Bond said, it wasn't even a rumor. I think it was something that was stated by one of the guys. And it is blurring Snoozy. Shout out to you, man. It's a longtime friend before I started even doing any of this podcast stuff. We used to play together back in the day.
I like
Snoozy said blurring the lines between
about the OLED screen.
Blurring the lines between PC and console on the toxic platform into our games. I'm not happy. Cheating is a massive issue right now. Doing this next gen would be a massive mistake. Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's works around that. And yeah, I saw the VRR thing. But coming back to their strategy, it doesn't make any sense for them to release a console that doesn't fit that play anywhere strategy. So I believe that this is what they're doing. Now onto the thing that Sarah Bond said is that they're working on forward and backward compatibility. Now, at the time, there was a lot of speculation as to what that forward compatibility meant. Like, what does that mean? Like, why are we doing a forward compatibility? It doesn't really make sense. We've heard about back compat many times, but now we got forward and back compat. This is what I believe that is. I think they're doing forward compatibility from the games of this generation and trying to get them to run on this, and the console games to get them to run on this system. That's a huge ask when you think about that. And what that is that's replacing and me and Kay Asante had a chat about this a while ago, is are they going to take the leap of letting go of all the R&D on the old Windows 8 Xbox OEM that they've worked on for years and years and years, and drop that for something like this, something new, something that's Windows based, and something that can play everything and anywhere. And I genuinely, the more at the time, I wasn't sure, and I don't think Kay was sure, but I think as we go on into this generation, as we see more things and as we hear more things, that is what 100% I think they're going to do. I think they're going to drop that old OEM. I think this is going to be the new one going forward. And then for a lot of people, there's this discussion, and I don't know if you guys were all on the show when we talked about this way back at the 4Games podcast, is that we were dropping hints that in the future, they will go full third party, and that means hardware as well. And they'll have an ASUS Xbox, they'll have a this Xbox. We talked about this many times. This is all setting up for this, what I believe their strategy is going to be. I don't think they're going to drop hardware. I just don't think it's going to be their focus. I think they'll farm out that OEM in the future, but I believe the next Xbox is going to set the standard for what they want their Xboxes to be going forward, and the play anywhere strategy. And I think this is just that first step. It's that toe dipping in the water. I think it's obvious now. I think it's undeniable. And so when people ask if this is an Xbox, this is what Xbox is going to be. So yes, it is an Xbox. And there's been this get upset about people accessing your games, but that's just what's going to happen. If those PlayStation games end up on PC, they're going to get access, and you can make all the arguments in the world that you want to make, like there's not really an Xbox, but this is what Xbox is going to be going forward.
Yeah.
So
if you're just like, oh, it's the console that only plays the console version of the Xbox game, then yeah, if that's your measuring stick, right? If that's what you're saying, have at it. That's fun for you. But I mean, yes, you gotta kind of change your thinking a little bit in terms of what they want to do with how they want people to access gaming content, right? And for them, this is an Xbox is literally ecosystem. How do we get you into our ecosystem? And oh, by the way, we want to give you access to other ecosystems at the same time, but we mainly want to get you into our ecosystem where you're like sub to Game Pass. And if you have Steam games, cool. If you want to go grab some of those Epic games, cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I feel their strategy is, and people have to kind of adjust to that.
That's a beautiful thing, by the way. And remember, we were all talking about this Risk and talking about how they're going to integrate Steam and Epic and all these things. People poo-pooed that away, like, yeah, that's not happening. Well, it's clear as day now it's happening. Like, you're going to have those storefronts all integrated into this, and you get to load right up into the I guess full screen mode, as they call it, right? And so this is happening, and what's exciting to me outside of just the handheld is this is going to inform the next gen as well, right? Very clearly, this is going to be the same type of, I guess, OS shell, so to speak, that'll be implemented to the next gen. Also, too, we keep speaking of the OEMs and third parties that will actually have their own versions of an Xbox. I use quotation fingers. So people worried about, well, will there be an Xbox after next gen? Well, yeah, it just might not be made by Microsoft, right? And does that matter to anyone? Because this isn't made by by Microsoft. This is made by ASUS, but it's still technically, again, quotation fingers, an Xbox, right? So that's the beautiful thing for me, is that this informs us of what to expect for the future with them, including storefronts like Steam and GOG and Epic and all those things. It's a beautiful thing. You get to play all these games. So all those talks where we used to talk about being able to play PlayStation games on our Xbox, yes, guys, it's a reality. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it's happening.
Yeah,
this is the thing, and it's just the changing your thinking to understand what's coming. And I hate to do that. Like, I don't hate to do it, actually. I love to do victory laps. Like, we said this was happening a long time before anyone else was saying it. Like we were telling you this is going to happen. Or not anyone else. There was one other show that was saying it. And that's not to say that we're insiders, but at all. I fucking hate that. Like at all. But you do hear dribbles of information that come out of different people, and people tell you things like it happens. And we heard back in the 4 games thing that this was going to be the new direction. And super exciting. And this is, I think, just the first step. So, I mean, when it happens with be prepared for it. Like when it happens with the console, this is the going forward. This is what they're doing. This is what's happening. You got to change your thinking about what is a console. And the forward compat, I believe that there's going to be, at the moment, they're working on forward compatting all those games that are on your console so you can transfer them over to this system. That's what I think's happening. And I don't think they'll get every one. So I think there'll be some complaints that we may lose, a couple of games here and there, but I don't think it'll be many. Yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on it. Is it an Xbox? 100%. I believe that this is what Xbox is going to be doing in the future. Is there a lot of benefits? Shit, yeah. Is there a lot of is there some things I don't want to see happen? No, I don't want to see Gears go to PlayStation. I don't want to see that, but that's just what it is. It is happening, and that's that. So, and this is all part of it. So, we get to play their games too. Let's jump on those super chats real quick, and then we'll.
If I could say make one more thing, because people was like are still like, oh no, it's clearly a ROG or whatever. For instance, Silver Raven. Sure, we know ROG makes it, but that's why I mentioned the OEMs a minute ago. Because what's going to be the argument once, I don't know, say Skytech Gaming makes their Xbox? You know what I mean? That's not an Xbox. Well, you're going to use the same argument then. The entire distinction is being able to play your Xbox games and your library to carry over no matter where you're at. And that's what would make it the Xbox, is you're still into that ecosystem no matter where. They don't care. Microsoft does not care if you're looking at it like, oh, well, I don't know, HP made this box that you're playing it on. It's still essentially an Xbox, and I put quotation fingers again, because you get to have your Xbox OS experience into that package. It's the same thing. Like it's just, we have to get past the thought of, well, Microsoft didn't make it. That's really what it comes down to. I think if Microsoft themselves made the handheld, this wouldn't even be an argument. People would be like, well, sure, right? That's really what it comes down to. And I think that's what people are holding themselves back from. Just think of it differently. Think of it as just marketing, clearly, until they get us all of our games that we own over. Sure, if that's your distinction, I can respect that. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of, a third party made it, you're never going to accept it. And that's your problem.
And it is. That's what they're working towards. It's 100% what they're working on, is they're trying to get all those games over. That's what they're working on. I mean, for me, the better thing would have been having a full Xbox that can play absolutely everything now.
Wild.
But
wow, super wild. Sorry, I'm back.
The program's fantastic. Fantastic
Hey,
program. Look, we'll jump with the super chats. Lotus Esprit with $10 super chat says,
He cut you off on that one.
Holly can do no wrong, just like the Xbox handheld. No?
I find both of those statements dubious. But hey, Holly.
Holly, no
how are
response.
you today?
No response.
Holly looks so great today. Holly, did I tell you I like your hair? It looks so nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Face 23 Brooklyn with the 1990 or $20 super chat. Shout out to you. One of our favorite ponies. Bobby would have to be the first. He said, notice how Microsoft is moving its Xbox fans, Game Pass subscribers to PC, especially if the next gen console is an OEM. Just like Nadella, you spelt Nadella wrong, but just like Nadella said, we are changing what it means to be an Xbox gamer. And yeah, that's what they're doing. This is what we're saying. Phase 23 is that they're shifting everyone to a PC, but they're not just shifting everyone to a PC. They're shifting their console to a PC, and that's why the shift. They're not trying to push people out of console. They're just trying to push their console further.
That's right, and they're giving more options in that way. That's really what it is. Play it where you want to, right?
Play where you want, how you want. Have access to all of your libraries. Have access to every library. That's like what a fantastic ethos to have. I think this, if they can pull this off, This will be the shift of the century for gaming. Phase 23 Brooklyn with a $20 super chat again says you can get access to PlayStation games for $800 on the ROG Ally X. That's not a gotcha. And next gen Xbox OEM will be more expensive than a PS6. And yeah, look, I don't have a problem with that, and that's something that we've been saying as well. Like, be prepared for the next Xbox to be expensive, and there's nothing wrong with that. Phase 23 Brooklyn, if that thing has access to every storefront. And it runs games, you know, you're getting at least a 1440p guaranteed 60 FPS on every game. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Like if I've got a 3080 in the next Xbox, I'm all for that. That's fantastic. And it boots straight to an Xbox thing and it does what this ROG Ally does. I'm all for that. What is wrong with that? Like, how is that not a gotcha? That's one console that plays every single game from every single store. So you're telling me that I should spend $800 on this box and $800 on this box to get access to every store? No, I'm just spending it once. So that argument doesn't hold up, man. I've seen that argument online, but it does not hold up. You're paying once to play everything. So, and I can understand people saying about the handheld, you know, that like, oh, it's a handheld, not a console. Absolutely. But when it goes to the console, that argument's null and void. Absolutely null and void. So yeah, I mean, you guys can keep pitching that stuff online, but I laugh. I don't think you've even responded to that because I didn't need a response online. But hey, here you are. You brought it up, so I responded. Shout out to everyone in the chat. You guys have been absolutely amazing. I appreciate every single one of you guys supporting us as you do every week. Please hit the like button if you haven't yet. Share us out if you can. Tell your grandma, tell your kids, tell Bob down the road, tell guys at work. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday. Usually we're a little bit late because we like to be punctual or tardy, one of the two. Kay Asane says, do you know how many unreleased game demos I'm playing right now on Steam Next Fest? So many amazing upcoming games. Next year, Xbox Ally users can play these two. 100%,
Yes,
Kay.
sir.
I won't be able to because PC is for nerds. Let's jump into the next topic.
Hold on, before we jump into the next topic, is something I just want to add to like what Umbra was saying. Like when it comes to the whole concern about like after this next gen, if the gen after that is going to be the next Xbox hardware is made by third parties, it doesn't matter because right now PCs get made by all types of OEMs, right? You don't sit there and say like it's still a Windows machine, right? Dell makes machines. ASUS makes machines, you know, you can go down a list, but no one sits there and says that that's still not a Windows machine underneath it. Now, the concern would be like, if they really start trying to change the experience, which I don't think Microsoft is going to let them do, right? Where they add in like all their other little like bloatware to it. I'm hoping that if that becomes a thing where third parties are making the hardware, Microsoft is really strict in terms of what the experience still needs to be. And it's just more like, hey, this is the hardware's internals that separate one OEM from the next. But even then, I think that needs to be still curated to a point, so that way there's a parity in terms of how all the games perform if multiple OEMs are making Xbox consoles in the future. But I think we're still getting one more Xbox branded one. The next one is still Xbox branded before we see something
100%.
coming from a third party.
Definitely. Also,
100%.
too, just to throw this last little bit out there to Dante's great point is with them being, you know, having third parties make the one after the next Xbox, there can be various prices, right? It can be something that's more affordable, something that's more expensive to get a higher end GPU and CPU. But all of that cost is cut for Microsoft now. So it, in my opinion, I think that reverberates all around from how they can more cost effectively, I guess, save them on maybe doing more things for gaming. That's the way I look at it. Maybe they can put more games into the fund more games, should I say? Maybe acquisitions. I know I don't want to bring that into it, seeing how they lay people off all the time, but they can do much more with that without having to put the money into R&D for a console, which costs what, hundreds of millions, right? So there is that too.
Oh, billions over time. And then there's some interesting questions around that, but we won't jump into it. But one of them is the parity clause. What do you do there if you're selling an OEM machine that's third party?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then
like, they'd have to have some guidelines where it's kind of like you can't have it where, you know, this particular OEM's device is running the game only at 30 cap, right? And where other ones can do 60 or something like that. like that won't be good, or if there's a really big degradation between how one plays certain games versus the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that interesting waters, but I mean, you're still going to have your team. You're still going to have a J-Ron out there, obviously running around. He was the in the technology team, I think, before the guys who basically ran around and helped out developers develop games for the system. I think maybe he'd end up being in that sort of a role where he'd run around and help developers build hardware that suits. But it'd be interesting to see how they run that. But I mean, look, I would be for that, man. Having a whole bunch of different SKUs. Obviously, I'm always going to get the higher one. That means that it's going to be a high end one. That maybe it's a 4090 one console. I'm obviously going to buy that. I'm going to spend like the $3,000 or the $4,000 or whatever it is. That's what I'm going to get because I don't want to mess around with PCs, man. It's just not my thing, and it's for nerds. Sorry, Kay. Hamish K says, "Peace and love to the game community. Nothing wrong being a nerd. I am one myself."
Shout out to you, Hamish.
Peace and love to Hamish. Absolutely fantastic. Hamish was the winner of an Xbox Series X White in one of Ben Kenobi's competitions, and then made some awesome artwork on the side of it. And I think gave it away as well. So shout out to you, man. What an absolute legend.
His mom. He gave it to his mom.
I gave it to his mom. Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome. Right, let's move on to the next topic. So this is a huge week. I mean, the handheld was just a little bit of it. We've already been on that for about an hour, but let's jump into the. I want to do the Summer Games Fest first, and then jump into the Xbox. I did want to talk a little bit about PlayStation, but we're not going to have time for that. But for me, just straight up round up, and I know that a lot of people like the PlayStation. And the way I judged it. So we'll just do a quick round table, see what we thought about it. So the way that I judged it is that what was their first party. So what did PlayStation release that I want to play? And the answer is fuck all. There's a bunch of stuff on there. There's a bunch of stuff on there that actually is on Xbox as well that I did like. So overall, I thought it was a good show. But for a showing for PlayStation, I think it was a bit of a swing and a miss. So for me, I gave him a 2. It might be a bit harsh, but if I was to judge the show without just thinking of it as a standalone show, it wasn't a first party platform show, I would probably have given it a 7. I think it was pretty good in that regard. But as a standalone platform show, it's definitely a 2. Umbra, how you feeling about it?
Yeah,
Summer
actually,
Games Fest or the PlayStation one? Because I thought you
State
said
of Play.
PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm assuming we're going through State of Play, Summer Game Fest, and Xbox right now, right? Is that how we're going to?
We'll just do a quick one on the PlayStation. We don't have time to do all 3. We'll never get through.
So for State of Play, I agree. If you're focusing on, and I think this is what everybody did, like what is PlayStation first party offering you? Yeah, you're going to come to like a 3, right? Maybe a 4 if you're generous. They showed a little snippet of Ghost of Yotei. Obviously, Death Stranding 2 is console exclusive. So, was that shown there? Death Stranding? No, it wasn't actually. So I take that back. It wasn't even shown there. Okay, so Ghost of Yotei, they showed a little snippet of something. They have Astrobot 2 DLC, whatever expansion, whatever you want to call it, coming. That's cool. But yeah, if you're looking at it from that lens, absolutely. But if as far as games that you can be happy about that's coming to Xbox or your PC, then I'm excited for that. So that landed at a 7 for me as well, because you got what is it? Romeo is a Dead Man. You had Sea of Remnants. You had Neo 3. You had Silent Hill F. You had Pragmata finally shown off. First Light from the 007 game, right? And Final Fantasy Tactics. So you had some good games there that's like, yeah, I want to play all of those, at least for me. So I landed at a 7.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you didn't get the full announcement for the Bond. It was just like, baby steps. You skipped over that one. It was just quite funny. It was actually a pretty funny review.
For good reason.
Holly, how'd you feel about this? Just real quick roundup. We're not going to run through all the games, but just how'd you feel about the PlayStation State of Play, and how did you judge it? Like, judge it from a platform stand or just from like games generally?
Yeah, I don't judge these shows based on how many are platform exclusives, because Xbox was dry for a whole long time and you couldn't really judge it based on that because it had always been like a 2 for them, right? I just don't feel like that's kind of fair to flip that back and forth. I thought this was a 4 at best. It was very Japanese dominant, which doesn't help because I don't really like Japanese games or Eastern games that much. But the problem is I just felt like it was very out of balance. Like there wasn't a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It was just heavily one-sided. And then I thought it had a lot of pacing issues. And I thought some of the announcements were just kind of odd. I think I'm the only person actually really looking forward to playing Baby Steps. I think it looks like a lot of fun. I'm excited for that game. But it's not a 4 out of 5, Bobby. It's a 4 out of 10 at best. I thought Neo 3 looked really good. I've never played a Neo. I'm interested in it. Pragmata, it's strange to me, but it's Capcom, and I love Capcom, so I'm extremely willing to just give it a try. It didn't turn me off. I was just like, huh, I don't know really what I think about this, right? So, but overall, I thought it was a 4. I did not think it was very good. I thought it had a lot of balance and pacing problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my judging it from a platform is I used to do that with an Xbox as well. So Xbox used to take hits because they weren't bringing out any first party, and it was something that was a huge complaint for me. I mean, leading up from the 2020s all the way to the early, I guess 2023 is when they started to really hit home. So yeah, I mean, I just always judge it. If you're doing a first party show, it's a platform show. To me, you should be bringing the heat from your own first party studios, at least with one big hit. I think a state of play is fine just for the length of it with one big hit. Donte, how'd you feel about, but we didn't really have that. How'd you feel about, even if they showed like a bit more of Ghost of Yote, could have been, they had that opportunity to do so. So it's a bit of a concern to me that they're not showing it when it's supposed to be releasing this year. Donte, how'd you feel about the PlayStation showcase? How'd you judge it?
Yeah, so I'm with Holly when it comes to I don't judge a game or judge a showcase based upon like how much of it's just definitively first party. I just judge it like, did you guys show me some games that I want to play? But this one I am grading a little bit different too because I feel like PlayStation has been under the gun for having some lackluster showings over the last like at least the last 2 or 3. Where like we've expected more for them, and obviously they have had a lot of games that have canceled, so that's probably could explain why they haven't had a lot to show. So maybe I was expecting them to kind of have this one hit harder, considering the last few weren't as impressive. So overall, my score is going to give it a 6. I saw some games in there that I thought looked cool that I want to play, but there was nothing really that completely like I didn't have that wow or aha moment, right? You know what I'm saying? So therefore I give it a 6. I don't think it was super bad, but it didn't do what I felt it needed to do, considering the last few haven't been up to their standards for what their showcases normally are.
Yeah, nothing really blew you away. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think again, I would say 2 and 7. So 2 as a platform. Just again, to be fair, if I was to judge it as the games that were there, it would be a 7. If I was to judge it as a platform, it's 2. I think they really need to come out and start properly hitting a bit harder. I think there's a couple of games there for me that I was interested in. Pragmata looked okay. Silent Hill F. I love my horror games, but there's something that's not quite hitting with me on Silent Hill F. So I
agree.
know what.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong, but there's something wrong. We'll have to see more. Sea of Remnants, I really like the look of, which is again another boost for the games. And Tides of Tomorrow is a little bit I was interested in. They didn't show a whole lot of First Light, so it was good to see that's what they were doing, and then we got more information later on. But so that was a bit of a hit for them, and I think it would have been a bit better if they could have got that full trailer and dropped it in there. It might have raised it up to an 8 for me as far as games. But as a platform, look, it just shows a little bit of not weakness. There's a gap. There's a huge gap in their first party at the moment. They're not really producing the bangers that we used to. There's a huge concern, and this is not me being an expert, but I'm pretty concerned with the 10 games that they've cancelled about how long it's going to take them to find their feet again and start really bringing out a decent cadence. as well as the type of games that PlayStation are known for. Because I love PlayStation games, man. The ones that they're known for, the big ones. You know,
I really thought we would see Wolverine this year. I really thought this showcase they would show some Wolverine. I was really surprised not to see that.
Wolverine is almost
I mean-
as elusive as Everwild.
Yeah.
Or
You know,
contraband.
Really. I feel like
contraband.
Sony could have just had an absolute banger of a show. I felt like they only needed to have like 3 things. They could have had the Starfield announcement for PlayStation 5. They could have had a Wolverine announcement, or just show, like a highlight reel, right? Or a teaser trailer. And they could have had a little bit of Death Stranding, and like that would have been enough, I think, to make people really like the show. And then, have some of the other things that they showed, right? Like Neo 3 is a big hit, right? Pragmata would have, if they'd had just that and then a couple smaller things, this thing would have been huge, right? People
Yeah.
would have been talking about that for a long time. And they didn't do it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know what they were thinking.
I expect to see it shown off next year, at least. I would expect.
Maybe not summer. Maybe the Game Awards or something.
Awards?
I'm not sure.
Maybe. Yeah, it's possible. It is possible. Yeah, I feel like also too, the news came out about how Sony is planning on having at least one major AAA single player game come out a year going forward. So like they're definitely diminishing
just
as
one?
far as
Just
Xbox
one?
is like, we got 4. Right?
Just
Like,
one?
one a
Exactly.
quarter. Right?
How the
Yeah,
turns up
like I
table.
feel you need one
Yeah.
per quarter, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Like we are Xbox is literally outputting what 4, 6, and maybe 8 games AAA, AA a year now, and Sony is like down to 1, maybe 2, and some third party like money hats and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy.
I'd say 1, and you can't say 2. I think it was Daniel in the chat there was saying Daniel Rubin said Sony released last year 2 games, this year 2 games. I mean, one of those games was Concord. I mean, are we counting that? I mean, is that a release? Is it still a release when you like release it and then you cancel and you bring it all back? I don't know if that's a release.
I
feel like that's a
What are the odds that Marathon comes out this year?
Look, with Arc Raiders, that game is
spooky.
it's DOA, man. If they do not
They're a
learn
month
from
apart
Concord
right now. They're a month
if they
apart
do not
right
learn
now.
from Concord and then not release that game, pull it back, and then think about maybe making it a free to play, I think they're DOA. I think they have to take the leap with a free to play. I think they have to just for it to survive, because the feeling around that game is not good. Not good. We're going to jump into the next showcase, and Hamish, I saw your super chat, and I'm going to come back to it because you pointed out something yesterday. I was talking to Grey Monad about, and sort of how I felt about the Xbox show. And Mo, you're going to get angry, and I don't want to see those caps. I know I'm going to see the caps. I don't want to see the caps.
He's already doing it.
He's like, just turning them on, waiting, just like.
There is a caveat. There is a caveat.
Okay.
Yeah, all good. So Phase 23, I'm going to skip over Hamish and come back to you. Phase 23 Brooklyn said Sony has its own fighting game, Marvel, Tokon. Yeah, but like, I mean, Guilty Gear isn't leading the market in fight mechanics, bro. Nice artwork, but the fight mechanics for me aren't it. I don't feel it. And for a lot of people, it's a big, huge, popular game. It's from the makers of Guilty Gear. Maybe if they change that up a little bit, but you've already got Street Fighter 6, you've already got Mortal Kombat sort of owning that space. You've already got Injustice, which is probably coming out, owning that space. Good luck.
And I would say,
we'll see how it goes.
Platform.
I would just say though that fighting
program.
games are.
Sorry, my bad.
Did you hear? Let's take a minute and let Donte have his. Yeah, go ahead, Donte. Go ahead. All right. Yeah.
This is damn program.
This platform's good. There's nothing wrong with this platform. Continue.
I would say while in the fighting game world, that was probably a pretty big announcement. I still think fighting games are pretty niche, right? So
Agreed. Yeah.
like there's a subsect for it, but it's a subsect, right? Like the like I don't feel like that hits a huge swath of the gaming world.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And there is a little bit of pushback in the back of my mind that relates to what Hamish said as well, and I think it relates to Xbox, and a little bit to I think the biggest show that we had was the Summer Games Fest. So shout out to Keely. What an asshole. I mean, what a great guy. Shout out to Keely for like sort of nailing it there. But look, let's get through this thing, and I would then we'll talk about the Xbox, and I'll come back to this. I'll circle back around. And I want to do it real quick because there's quite a few to get through. I'm going to skip over a bunch. But Mortal Shell 2, I think, was a big sort of surprise hit. Looked absolutely amazing. It's that grimdark fantasy sort of return. If any of you, I don't know if you play Mortal Shell. I played Mortal Shell, never finished it. It is a pretty tough and punishing Souls-like. It was a good-looking game for its time. This looked amazing. I like the. There was some problems with Mortal Shell, and this is the thing about that I've always liked about sequels. If you bring it out a sequel, you want to fix all those problems that you couldn't fix in the first one, and if they can do that, then I think this is going to be a big hit for them. Umbra, how'd you feel about Mortal Shell? Dude,
What was the noise? Dude, what was that?
oh, that was a 2.
Oh,
It was Evie Mux.
Even Mux was like, dude. Well, Mortal Shell itself looked pretty good. Yeah. Some people say it looked generic to them. When I
I thought it
discussed
looked fantastic.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Really good.
I own the first one. I haven't played it yet though, but I got it on Steam. But yeah, this one actually looks really, really good. You can see that they've improved production on it. So yeah. Did you just want to stick to Mortal Shell or all the games that I like, the Summer Game Fest?
We'll just quick fire through all the games. I'll bring out.
Okay.
I have the whole list too. I made notes on those
Yeah.
shows, so I have the list from.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, now I was gonna say like, are we going through each one, or is it going to be like, yeah, what are the games that stood out to you, and then give a score?
Well, let's do the standouts because I think that'll be quicker. So as I started, so Mortal Shell stood out to me. Death Stranding, I couldn't have been more bored. Almost fell asleep in the trailer like I did for the first game. The Medieval looked okay. I want to see a little bit more of that. End of Abyss. This is the guys who did Little Nightmares,
Yes,
and
sir.
that one looked.
good.
Looked absolutely
Really good.
sick, man. I want to see more of that. I cannot wait. We saw a little bit of that PI Mouse for Hire. I mean, yeah. Again, another RTS, which is War for Westeros. How are you going to manage that?
I'm going to give it a better ending than the show did.
That could be a really
not hard.
interesting. That could be a really interesting RTS. So because you could play a lot of like leaders dying and have heroes in it that die and all that sort of stuff. So that could be pretty interesting. But we'll see what they do with it. Atomic Heart 2. I didn't like the first one. Got to be straight up honest about that. It didn't really hit for me. Of course, felt that boxing. If you guys didn't see the Muppet, foul mouth Muppet boxing. It looked pretty cool, like a bit of Mike Tyson's knockout back in the day. So I like that. That was it. Obviously, Chrono Odyssey was another big one that we saw a lot from. So I was pretty stoked with that. Mafia: The Old Country. I love that. And then everything else for me I don't think was a huge hit. But I think overall got a little bit more of a mixed take. I think overall. Acts of Blood, but I'm a little bit if that's going to be like a Sifu type game.
It looks like
it. But it's a one developer, so you know what I mean. They always look good when they show them, and then you get it, and mechanically, it's pretty horrific. I mean, Mind's Eye looked amazing. Good pick on that one, Keely. Sorry, Holly. And there was another one that's being published by Mundfish, and we saw this like quite some time ago. There was a small trailer released, and it was more of a Steam thing. But Ill, it's that horror game, and it's really physics focused. So if you shoot an arm, blows off an arm, looks really really good. But it also has that Mind's Eye ish something to it. You know what I mean? It looks a little bit
looks too good to be true.
Like you're expecting to let you down. Maybe you're fearful that it might. Yeah.
I feel like it may let me down. Infinitesimals, I'm interested in.
Ill.
Sorry, which
Ill.
Oh,
For Ill,
Okay.
yeah. I think most of what they showed for Ill was pre-rendered stuff and like maybe one portion of it was a gameplay, actual gameplay.
I mean, Stranger Than Heaven, Splitgate 2, which I played a little bit of. There was some controversy around that. He wore a fucking hat. I don't give a shit. But I played the game, and the game's fun. And so I was like, we got the Wu-Tang game, Rise of the Deceiver. I'm looking forward to some sick tracks coming out of that game at the very, very least. And Wu-Tang, man. So there was just a lot in in the GCS. So for me, it was an 8. Pushing to an 8.5, maybe even a 9. I can't remember what I gave it at the time, but
That's
and
where I
then he
landed.
followed up. He finished off with Resident Evil 9, and I was I gave it a 9. Like with that Resident Evil, there was some decent. It was all like pretty good, decent, or great, or like there's good looking games, and then smacked us with Resident Evil 9. For me, it was a 9. Absolutely love the look of the whole thing.
I think that's a fair score. I landed at an 8.5, so I'm like right there. I could probably just move it to a 9, being fair. In actuality, I thought this was the best show of the entire week, even beating out Xboxes. Which is very rare because Xbox usually is just magnificent. But yeah, like your point, I'll quickly go through this so we can all get a chance. Liza P. Overture, that looks so damn good. I've yet to play the first game or the game, should I say? Because it's not like this is a sequel, but
yeah,
I have to. Now that it convinced me to make that my next game after The Altars. Mortal Shell 2, like Holly was saying, looks excellent. Like you said, Risk, Death Stranding. I was like, okay, next. I don't know. I have almost no interest in that game. Dying Light, The Beast looked good. Mixtape, yeah, we knew about Mixtape. Excited for that still. Tower and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree, Acts of Blood, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, we knew about, still getting it. Scott Pilgrim EX was dope to see pop up. Cold Vein 2, happy for that. End of Abyss, like you said, looks dope as hell. Atomic Heart 2, although I didn't much care for the first one either, Risk. This one looks phenomenal. So Atomic Heart 2, that was the game of the show.
Mechanically, the first one was just janky as shit, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. Like, I can't do that kind of jank in a game. Like, it's 2025. If you can't get the 2005 jank out of your game, then I'm not interested.
I feel, and I felt the same. This one though looks like a vast.
They're very wrong.
They're wrong about it. Only Musha, of course, we saw that looks good as hell. Felt that boxing Risk. You mentioned it like a punch out. Absolutely, that's the vibe I got from it. So cool how they made it look. That it really does look like some sock puppets or whatever you want to call them. So I guess not sock puppets, but puppets fighting. I'm super interested in that. That was one of my top games of the show. Out of Words, that looked dope as hell. Killer Inn was interesting. And
Out of Words, that was the co-op. That did look good. I was like, all right, that looks good.
Stranger Than
sure.
Heaven, that I thought was going to be Yakuza, but it was just Stranger Than Heaven. Seems to be some supernatural thing because this guy seems to like have powers or something. Stranger Than Heaven, and like you said, Resident Evil 9, and Wu-Tang, of course, and like spectacular showcase by Keeley. I have to give him credit. So that I landed at 8.5. I can definitely see a 9.
Yeah, 100%. We'll whip around to you guys. Like, I was like super shocked. I'm like, fuck, I like this. Normally there's me skipping like, because I rarely get to them live, but normally there's me skipping some stuff. I didn't skip much of this at all. Like even the stuff I wasn't like fully into. It was good pacing. It was good everything. So Holly, how you feeling about the showcase? And excuse me for 2 minutes while I make a coffee.
Sure. Shameless plug. I made my second video ever and I put it up this week, which was top 10 most anticipated and top 10 honorable mentions from the Keeley show.
Why don't you ever share this stuff to us, Holly, so we can hype you up?
Well, if you subscribe to me and hit the notification bell, you would know that
I'll make sure to put notifications on.
I haven't hit the notification
Umbra
button
just exposed himself, okay?
I have the notification button set for nobody I'm subscribed to, so I don't be knowing in that regard. I just don't want to open it if it tells me. But yeah, I mean, you should still put it in the chat so we can share it out.
Yeah, because I want to hype you up, share it on Twitter and everything for you, you know.
Yep.
Well, everybody, I made a video and it's on my channel and I worked because I don't really know what I'm doing yet very much. It takes me a very long time to make these things, but I'm pretty proud of this one. This one is it's way better than my first one, and I'm getting better. But anyway, top 10 most anticipated, and then top 10 honorable mentions. So just to kind of run through my list from that real fast. Mortal Shell 2, huge fan of this announcement. And actually, Umbra, I also own the first one when I never touched it. So I think I got it free on Epic one day or something, because I opened my Epic store and I was like, oh, look at that. I have Mortal Shell. I didn't even know that, right? And I thought this was like an old game that like and I loaded up and I'm like, dang, this thing looks good, right? So I only played like 20, 30 minutes. It was tough. But it's a Souls, and I haven't played in a Souls in a little while. And so and I was just putzing around in the beginning area. And it doesn't really explain anything. It does, but it doesn't. So I was really kind of confused about, well, why am I picking this up, or what am I doing here, or why did this happen? Anyway, but this one looks really, really good. I'm assuming it's just going to be even better. Chronicles Medieval was my second choice because I thought that sounded really good, and Tom Hardy can talk in my ear all day long. Code Vein 2 looked really good, which is not my kind of game at all usually, mostly because of the anime looking people. I just can't with anime stuff.
I'm
this
surprised that landed for you. Wow.
It looked really interesting. I like the time dilation stuff. And then of course Atomic Heart 2 was my personal, it was tied with Resident Evil 9 as my personal favorites, because I love Atomic Heart 1. I love it, and you guys are wrong. It takes a little bit to get the feel of the game, and it's a hard game. Like, Atomic Heart is not an easy game, but it's really, really good once you get into it. And then there's a lot of puzzling, there's a lot of shooting. There's the lead character is very sarcastic, and it's usually okay. Sometimes it's a little annoying, but the visuals are great. The gameplay is good. Don't listen to them. The gameplay is good. This and you got to give it some time, right? Because the game has kind of a longer intro. So you got to give it a couple hours to maybe just kind of get to the place where it really starts to do the world story and all the stuff you have to do. And it's tough.
How long is that game, by the way? Would you say?
It's long.
Yeah.
It's long. I mean, I did not get to do all of the side world content that I wanted to do. And I did some of the mainline. So that's why I want to go back and do a full playthrough again. And I actually I played it on Game Pass when it came out, but I bought the PC version with all the premium content and stuff for 60% off or something like that. So they just did a DLC in January. The one that's Under the Sea.
Oh yeah, I did. That's right. You sure did.
Yeah. So in my video, if you watch it, I said I don't expect this game to come out for at least a couple years, just because Atomic Heart 1 came out in February 23, and they just did this DLC. So I think it's going to be a couple years before the second one comes out. But it's a lot of the similar assets, right? Which is one of the huge things that takes a lot of time. So anyway, it looks great. And then Onimusha was my number 5. I thought that looked really good. I've never played it. That's a series, right? I've never played it.
It is, yeah. This seems to be a bit of either a soft reboot or just a different focus on a different protagonist. So, but yeah.
It follows Miyamoto Musashi.
Legendary.
I don't know if that means anything to you. But
yeah, that's an actual person in real life. Yeah.
Okay.
Swordsman. But,
and then I have Arc Raiders, because Arc Raiders, I played the beta. Chef's kiss. That game is so good. It's so good.
It looks like
it's so good. When the beta was over, now granted I didn't get into it until it was pretty late in the beta. I was itching to play more, kind of thing where you're like, dang it, why isn't this thing open yet, right?
Hey, I got some more of them Arc Raiders.
Exactly. I'm like that Dave meme, right? And a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like begging for it. You can see there's a lot of hype for that game. Chrono Odyssey was one of mine. I thought that looked really good. I had Dying Light the Beast, Stranger Than Heaven, and then of course RE9. And then my
You surprising me with your list. You got like a few on there that I would never thought you would like. Stranger Than Heaven.
You don't know
I'm saying,
you don't know me. You don't know me.
saying.
My honorable mentions were, I mean, I feel like I should make you go watch the video if you really want to know. But End of Abyss, definitely Riskit. The Cube. You didn't talk, neither of you talked about the Cube, and I thought that looked really good. That it was also the Munfish. It's the Atomic Heart world, but on that cube with the pieces that rotate, and it's like a massive online multiplayer
I was
thing.
going to say it's the MMO, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it could be very good, right? It might be a disaster, but it's different than anything else I've seen. I thought that looked really, really interesting. And then Fractured Blooms was on my list too. That was the one that was like the girl with the planting, and it gets really weird and sinister and twisted by the end, right? Where she's chopping the tomatoes and they're like, don't eat the tomatoes. In Infinitesimals, which was like the Bugs Life kind of thing, right? The grounded, but like where you're the little bugs, but there's like aliens and ships and like sci-fi elements in your little world. Scum, the one with the MMO, right? That's like a open world survival game. The one where they showed people like pooping and like, remember the one where like they were standing on a beam bent down and they were pooping and like it's basically like world's most dangerous, or the most dangerous game, you know, the story, the most dangerous game, right? Where you're all on an island. It's almost like Hunger Games, kind of, right? So you all load in on this island and it's sort of a Hunger Games, and you have to earn fame points from the people watching by competing in challenges and stuff like that, right? I thought it looked really good. Into the Unwell. This looked good. I thought that looked real. That was the one that was like kind of like the Cuphead style with the little cat guy who goes into the bar and like pulls out his tooth to get a drink.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
And of course, the Words one that you said, but the other one I thought was even a little more darling to me was the Lego Voyagers, which was the two little individual Lego cubes. It's like it's a duality, right? Play together game too. I thought that one
isn't that by like Don't Nod or somebody or Telltale? Who was that? Somebody that, let me look into it. I forgot. But it was
somebody who made something decent previously.
Yeah.
It was really sweet looking. It just was really sweet. So I gave Keeley a B+, but in all reality, it's probably like a 9. The more I think back about it, like I thought it was good. I thought it was a very good show. I think he did a great job, and it was paced well. Like I didn't ever get bored.
Me either. Some people were saying they thought it dragged. I thought it blew by. It was Annapurna, by the way. Annapurna.
I love Annapurna.
Me
they
too.
do fantastic games.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, do they? Because the entire public, they all quit, like except for 2 people.
What? Who all quit?
Everyone walked out. Yeah.
Oh,
everyone
wow.
Walked out.
It was like a year ago, a little less than a year ago.
Must have forgot about that.
Yeah, but it was
they made then, if that's the case. we'll go with past it since most of them left. So maybe this continues if this game is good. So
yeah, fingers crossed. Donte, how'd you feel about the show? And then we'll get on to the dreaded.
Yeah. I'll try to run through my list quick. So all right. So yeah, Motor Show 2 looked good. While the showing of this didn't look good for Summer Games Fest, because I don't know, the trailer to me just wasn't a good showing for Death Stranding 2. I still want to play Death Stranding 2. I just don't think that it was a good showing of the trailer. I thought the trailer was like, you guys didn't.
Not at this showcase.
At this showcase, you didn't show it off. But I'm interested in playing the game. End of Abyss looks great. Atomic Heart 2 to me, I thought looked fantastic. I didn't play the first one, but this one made me want it to play it now. Like I wanted to get involved in it. So Onimusha, Way of the Sword, I thought looked really, really good. Felt that boxing, I thought looked like a cool, fun game. Obviously Resident Evil Requiem. Mixtape, and I'm keeping Mixtape and Wu Chang Fallen Feathers off because like to me that probably would have made this a 9, but since I've already seen those games at previous showcase, it's kind of like my hype factor isn't gonna like re-up for it, right?
Completely understood.
Yeah, I thought the cube looked really, really cool, except for we didn't see a lot of it that was gameplay. It was like a lot of rendered stuff and then a little bit of gameplay stuff, but like that one I thought looked as good. I think after Atomic Heart, I thought it looked in terms of visual presentation was just as good. I think Arc Raiders looks cool. I just don't know if I'm an extraction shooter person, right? So like I think that's what have to. Okay, that's the thing. I'd have to get around and actually play it and find out like, do I like extraction shooters? Because like when I think about it, I think about like what we'd have to do in the Dark Zone and Division, and I didn't like that. Like I didn't like going in there and getting ganked.
It's different. You will get ganked, but it's a little. It does it in a different way.
All right. So yeah, I gave it an 8 or B plus, whatever, or 8.5, shall we say? That's safe. I think 8.5 because to me, if I can if you watch a showcase, I'll continue to try to be consistent on this. If I see a showcase, you show me 20 to 30 plus games, and I can say 8, 9 of those I wanted to play. I think you did your job in terms of putting on a stellar showcase. So I'm going to give them an 8.5 for Summer Games Fest.
I think we're all sitting around about the same 8.5, 8, 9, sort of a 9. Yeah, I think we're all sitting about a 9-ish. Give or take a half a point.
Except Garuda. Garuda didn't like it.
What does Garuda like? I mean,
Garuda loved the Sony showcase.
Yeah, that's odd, right? How did you love that but not this?
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is.
Funny. It made me laugh. Yeah.
So we'll jump on to. Oh, it's got an interesting message. We'll jump on to. We'll jump on to the next. I mean, I got an interesting message, but it's probably not real information.
Do you want to share it?
Sources don't exist, and
you want to share it?
Everyone's just full of shit. Hey, Umbra, that's right. Everyone's just full of shit. Yeah.
You want to share it? You gonna share that message?
Thanks.
Share it?
No, I can't.
Oh. Well, why you tell us then?
Because some stuff people tell you is like they tell you and they ask you not to tell anyone else. So,
break their trust.
Oh, you want me to break the trust? Because I definitely I will do that now. And I'll tell you who it was too, so you can go straight to them and attack them. That's
perfect.
Crazy talk. Before we jump into the next one, Big Mad Mo is always already coming in with the 9, the Xbox Showcase. Is that for the XGS Mo, or is that for the Xbox Showcase? I'd be curious to see what you.
He gave the SGF a 7. He's given the Xbox One a 9.
Oh yeah, or 10 probably. And also, why is that 9 not capitalized, Mo?
Yeah. And what are you drinking? What have you been drinking, Mo?
I need your 9 to look more like this, Mo.
Bold.
Damn. Stupid, dude. Stupid.
Get it right, Mo. We're counting on you.
Before we jump into the next one, please hit the like button, share us out, tell all your friends, tell everyone you know. Hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that like, guys, if you haven't already. It really helps out the show. Really appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. You guys are always amazing. Even Mo, even though he said that I suck at the start of the show. It's not nice. So listen, I have a take on this. I'm going to cut back to Hamish's super chat, which is sort of an important sort of framing for me. Hamish K with $10 super chat, he says, I think the showcase week has a lot of interesting and fun-looking games for smaller groups to enjoy, but nothing major for a large group of people to get behind, so the noise wasn't as loud. And I would say that is probably not true for the games, the Keeley show. But for Xbox, I think that's very much it, right? We know a lot of the big bangers that are coming. And I guess I was hoping to see this showcase be all, some of these big bangers, a bit more of a showing. But I get why it's not, right? They've got lots of other titles that are coming as well, some third-party developers, Big Man Mode, because I've seen this coming. They got a lot of other titles. You know, there was some good stuff in this showcase. But I feel like this is, you know, they've got so much coming. They've got so much coming to Game Pass. They've got so much on their portfolio that not all of them could be for me, one. And two, not all of them could be these big, massive, you know, Fable. You know, they did have one decent banger in there that I thought I was super stoked. You know, they can't all be these big, huge games. So for me, I gave this show 2 scores because this show had hardware in it. And I think one with the hardware and one without the hardware. But I think I was pretty fair. I mean, what the fuck was that Call of Duty showing? I don't know what they're doing, but they need to go back to the drawing board, start again. Now I was like, what the hell is this?
What? No, absolutely not.
Horrible. Let's not go back to the whole Infinite thing where we're in space floating around and shit. Like, there's already games doing that. You be Call of Duty.
But that's a good campaign.
Call of Duty. You be Call of Duty and let them be Apex, all right? You don't need to be doing
the one you're comparing to is actually a good campaign, though. That's an actual good campaign, and the last one was a good campaign. So if they're trying to focus back on at least campaigns, I thought that was a good showing for the campaign.
And you know what was cool about it? You didn't have any idea it was actually Call of Duty.
True. Until you were like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
and the graphics, that's good. And like the graphics of the face, I'm like, look,
that's Xbox tax, Riskit. That's Xbox tax, Riskit.
Listen.
What?
If you let Call of Duty,
he's being ignorant about it.
Ain't you?
Be Call of Duty. Don't try to change it into some like Titanfall, man. If you want to make Titanfall, but don't. You just make Call of Duty.
In no way that was that Titanfall.
I don't know where
you. I don't know. Like a really good new game, and then you're like, wait, I'm sorry, that's Call of Duty.
Natural new game or something. I had no idea what that was. And I hate to say it, but I agree with you on this, Risk. I did not like that at the end of this show. Nope. I did not like it.
I saw some people doing this. I saw some. I mean, I get no,
because it's Call of Duty.
I get the fact that he probably should have opened with it. I didn't like the placement of it. If that's what you want to say, I didn't like the placement of it. I think a bigger game should have been the ending of it. However, the way it was showed, and then some people to be like, "Oh man, I thought this was something new," and then, "Oh, it's just COD." I think like, come on, man. Like, you want them to? Do you want
COD
them
is
to
still
evolve
the biggest
COD?
Game.
The
COD is still the biggest
evolve it
game.
or not? Do they evolve it or do they just keep it the same? So I thought
keep
that
the same.
Was cool. Okay.
And as far as placement, everybody who doesn't play Call of Duty is all butthurt about it being at the end. But at the end of the day, it's still the largest franchise under the Xbox umbrella. And it's still the one that makes the most money on the whole. So you can't be mad at Xbox for putting that in the showcase. And then, of course, it's going to be at the end.
Put it in the showcase, but don't do it as a one more thing. Like now, here's a one more thing that we already know is coming in November.
That's selectivism. I don't really feel like you can be like that about it.
You maximize your big money maker, and you got to.
But that was such a waste because usually those one more
only to you. The majority of casual players are Call of Duty players. Like
Holly,
half of them are probably turning into the show just to see Call of Duty because it's normally announced on its own in May.
But I'm a Call of Duty player.
And now
I'm a Call of Duty player.
I get it.
Not a casual.
Madam, if I could get a word in edgewise,
and last year, no, you can't. Okay. And last year, as soon as it was under the Xbox umbrella, it was at the Xbox showcase. So all the Call of Duty dudes are coming to the Xbox showcase to see Call of Duty.
I get it, right?
So,
like,
that's a pretty legit
because
point.
You're mad at it.
No, I understand both sides of this. I'm going to shadow the line because I too would have felt like I too wanted them to open up with this. To be quite honest, I wanted them to that to be the open as opposed to the ending show. But I'm not. I still also see the strategic. I also understand how big a game it is. That it has to be in the show. I understand that too, and I'm not mad at them for putting it there. But I think they got some people of thinking like, "Yo, what is this? Is this some new IP?" And then, oh, it's COD, and they're like, "Oh, crap!" You know what I'm saying? Like, I was hoping it's a new IP. So I understand the argument. I understand the argument.
That's exactly.
But the oh crap would have been like, oh crap. oh crap, like, oh, well, this looks way better than the Call of Duties I've seen in the
That wasn't
past,
it for
right?
me. Yeah, it didn't do it for me.
Yeah, but
'Cause I
you just
saw
have Call of Duty hate anyway.
I
You're
don't
a cheater,
have.
a Call of Duty hater. That's it.
She kind of got you. She kind of got you.
Ollie will defend to the
She kinda
death.
got
Cod.
Yeah.
Defend to
She
the
is
death.
she is to Call of Duty what I am to, like, I don't know, Stellar
Halo.
Blade or Halo.
Oh, well,
Hey! That will not
You
be
saw
no
that,
Halo
right?
slander
You see
up
this
in
hate,
mug.
Donte?
Hey, I'm gonna defend COD for you. You're not gonna hate on Halo for me,
That's
okay?
true.
Damn it, Ollie.
No, he can
Yes,
use
and
I'm
his
not
Stellar
even
Blade.
a COD
Let
player.
him,
But
let him use his Stellar Blade. It's
Alright,
fine.
okay.
Like
Alright,
his
do that.
booty cheek clapping game. That's fine. Like we can use that.
Ain't nothing wrong
So
with
that's
some
an
booty
Umbra.
clapping. Ain't nothing wrong with that now.
Let's go to Umbra because Umbra's been trying to get in edgeways. Let's let him
Nah,
get his
Go
spot.
for it,
we can
Danny,
skip
go for it.
him.
Am I allowed now, madam? Please.
No, no.
So my thoughts of it, like, yeah, I'll just give the score out of the way now because I know the people in the chat. Mo, I'm ready for you to go ahead and attack. I unfortunately thought the showcase was just a 7.5. I can probably be leaned into an 8, maybe, but I thought it was just a 7.5, and for a few reasons. One, I thought the pacing was good. That ending, going back to that, I feel like, and Donte hit it on the head. It's like when you give it one more thing, we're expecting a brand new IP, something major we haven't really seen, et cetera, et cetera. If that would have been traded places with Clockwork Revolution, for instance, the game of the show, that probably would have landed way better for me. That's one. Two,
Oh, yeah.
that
That should have finished the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Game of the show by far, right?
By far.
Two, I've said this many times, and I said it on my show too. I don't like when they, for me, feels like this fluff in a show. And this headed when you showcase stuff like the Elder Scrolls Online, Sea of Thieves, new little expansion or whatever. Fallout 76. Yes, Holly, I know. Fallout 76. Don't you even start. Age of she's about to go off.
We need who cares
Age of
about Fallout
Mythology.
76? Stop that shit.
Your mama.
I don't want to see those.
They're
there, right?
money
I feel like-
makers, though. I think that's
and
the
big
only reason why
money
we gotta
the
see them.
problem,
Right?
my
That's 'cause
only
they make
complaint.
a lot of money.
That's the
My
true
only
part because they're big
Right.
money makers, so they got to be there.
Yeah.
I just hate that when they do
hear
it though.
you.
Because
I hear you.
My only complaint about that is using all of those together,
Mhm.
right? As a lumped complaint is that it's literally done every year. And what did you give last year's show? You know what I mean? They put them
Yeah.
in every single
They do.
show.
Yeah.
So
I always complain about them, but last year was so phenomenal that it overwrote my dislike of that. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
I know, but it's hard to use it as a bigger negative point reducer, right, for this year's show because you didn't let it affect you in other years' show. You know what I mean? So that should really speak on what was around or what was at the rest of the show than that portion.
Well, I hear you.
They just
but I
need
think-
to stop with the Sea of Thieves, stop with the Fallout 76. Have little directs through the year, but
Mhm.
that
I agree with
community
that.
That's
who
what I
gives
want.
a
That.
shit. Like, because I don't give a shit. I don't want to see it. I don't want to play it. And that my brain switches off, and I'm like, oh, Sea of Thieves again.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
You can't
Put
do
them in their
that,
own
though.
like
You
direct.
can't do that,
like
You
though.
can't
Put
do
them in
it
their
though
own-
because you're
do
gonna
that
get
because
somebody.
there's gonna be someone who's sitting here. There's an audience that loves those games that are like, hey, I want to see, is there something new coming for? And they don't want to have to just be relegated to like, oh, maybe in
And
February
they might
or March.
miss it
we
because
might
this is the
get
only
some-
thing
yeah,
they
this
watch
is the-
all
This is
year.
the biggest
Get it,
thing they're gonna tune
but
in for. So
How about this compromise then, Donte, where they show this, or maybe before this main show, they show them in their own direct for that. Like, I just don't want it in this show because to me it just feels
like a pre-show, like the pre-awards.
yeah,
right?
like a pre-show or
The
maybe
stuff that
the
people get
problem
their
is-
awards before the big
Yes.
stage comes on.
exactly.
No, that's great. That's great.
Because these
That's
are
a great idea.
established
I like
already, right?
You-
like I don't
you
want to see
sleep through that
established
shit.
stuff in a brand new
You
show.
s-
That's
But you
Yeah.
say that, but the problem is that a lot of people who play those games are only going to tune in to the actual show and not even know
Well, that's their problem.
about
That's
all
different.
of those other things.
yeah.
That's not my problem.
It's
I get how
it's
we all
like 10
feel,
minutes
but
of your life. Don't worry
business-wise,
about
you
it.
got to put them in there because they're too big in terms of the revenue that those games bring in.
I think
There's no
it's
way
just
they
how
can
they
kind of
use
ignore 'em.
it.
But I hear you guys. I hear where you're
And,
coming
and,
from.
and you're right. Like you guys are right. They're revenue makers. They make money. Clearly, they do. I just feel like, man, I just wish it was a compromise, you know. And look, as I say that, Mo was like, no compromise at all.
I
They
agree
need-
with Mo.
they need to stay in their show.
Mo and I
As
agree
I
on a
said, I
lot,
said it.
okay? And I like that he yells at you for it instead of me.
It's like he read my mind. Like halfway as I was saying compromise, he's like, no compromise at all.
He's like, don't
He
you?
knows us.
Don't you do it?
He knows
so
us.
just from my perspective, I respect what you guys are saying on it. Just from my perspective, though, I don't like those in here, and they didn't have enough big heavy hitters to override my dislike of them. That's one. Two, obvious. Well, I'll say that's two. One was Call of Duty being at the end. I thought it was something. I thought it was supernatural.
Certified banger.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a supernatural thriller. I thought it was Quantum Break 2.
So
I thought it was possibly
Certified-
Alan Wake.
hold on.
Certified clanger. It was a
Hold
clanger.
on. Hold
Not a
on.
banger.
I would like for you to tell me the actual truth and be honest about it.
I'm being honest.
No, wait. Before you knew it was Call of Duty,
Mhm.
were you interested in it?
I was interested in it. I was interested in intrigued, I should say. I was intrigued to see what it was. And I saw my boy Milo, whatever. I forgot his name.
From Heroes.
Yeah, from Heroes. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, what's this? And then it was like Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I was like,
But see, that's the problem is now you're letting the fact that it's Call of Duty discount the fact that it could be a very good campaign that you would actually really enjoy and a game that you would enjoy, right?
It could have been a game I like, right? A franchise I like. And I feel like if they would have shown that there in the beginning,
but you could like it if you tried the campaign. I'm not talking about multiplayer, right? Like it's a separate thing, right? A lot of people
it
I
is-
only play
feel
the
like
campaign.
she's trying to indoctrinate
don't have
me
the
to the
skills.
Call of Duty
Yeah.
ranks, Dante. You
Like,
hear that?
she's like, yeah, but you
I'm
gotta
just
try
saying-
it. You will like it if you try it.
Exactly.
I'm just saying a lot of people have the exact attitude you do, and I get it. But you're discounting what's actually a really just good single player experience and a really good single player game.
To your point, I feel like the
Right.
single player could end up being dope. I'm going to try it out.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I just don't want that for. Again,
I mean,
I reserve that is one more thing for special new major heavy hitters or something. we haven't seen.
or a
Yes.
return of a very, very big game
Exactly.
that we've-
Like Clockwork, right? Like
Clockwork could have been.
Clockwork
Clockwork
would
could
have
have been that. Honestly, Clockwork
It's what
would've
you
worked.
get when you want them to buy Activision. That's
I
the
know,
end of
right?
this, you
Yeah,
know.
that's part of
That's
the
it.
pie. Yeah. So
Don't,
that
don't,
aside,
don't turn that around on us. Don't turn that around on us. No.
yeah, you wanted Activision, right? Well, this is what you get.
This is what you get.
There's a lot of stuff that came with Activision that wasn't written in the memo, okay? Like, it's like-
This was in the fine print.
Except for the legacy, except for all the legacy games in Game Pass, like that could have been
all
a
the
great
things
one.
we
more thing.
thought we were gonna
Right.
get. Yeah, that
Yeah.
stuff. No, we didn't get
So-
that.
I'll
didn't get
quickly
that.
go through these, and this is part of my reasoning too for the 7.5. Gears of War Reloaded. That's not for us. That's for PlayStation fans when they chose that. Let's just be real. When we saw
Wait,
that,
wait,
it was
let
like,
me-
okay,
I hate to
cool.
stop you again.
Yeah.
I hate to stop you again, but I'm going to stop you
good.
again. Like Harley, like made a post that went like pretty viralish, and I'm like, why are people like this? I don't get it, man. Like I got the code, and I'm like, oh, thank you for giving me.
It went very
upgraded
viral.
water.
Yeah, for me.
Thank you for giving me upgraded water textures. Like that's fucking great. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I'll stare at the fucking water for 3 hours, like while I play the game that I've already played, like I don't know, 20 times. Would have been great in UE5, but hey,
Look
this is
at
fucking
you thinking it's all
Exactly.
about you, Riskit.
It's
Look
about
at
me.
you
Yeah.
thinking it's all about
It's about me.
selfish ass.
It's about me.
It's about me.
I just have to say, like, seeing Reload, it was like, okay, we've seen enough of this before the show. I also didn't think that needed to be there, but that's why I knew it wasn't for us. It was for PlayStation fans. You see what I mean? So whatever. Okay, cool. What else was it? Invincible looked dope as hell. Invincible versus Resonance we already saw before the show. So Dante, like you, I feel like if you show me that before I see it there, I can't be overexcited again. So Resonance was shown at Summer Game Fest. Okay, cool. Dawn Walker looks dope as hell. Cannot wait for that. Super hyped.
Yes.
Happy to see Double Fine with the Keeper. We saw what the Kiln turned out to be. Super excited for that. Mudang, Two Worlds. Oh, Two Hearts. I thought that was Splinter
Oh,
Cell
yeah.
for a
That
quick
looked
second.
pretty dope.
I got excited as hell until I saw this blonde-haired Asian woman. I'm like, that ain't no damn Splinter Cell.
See, now
That's the only thing about
There's
this game
another
that kind of
one
turned me off. Is like, is that like some what's the in the Spider-Man where you do the Mary Jane stuff?
Right.
Like, man,
Yeah.
are you guys doing that with this? Where
That's
for a few missions you're gonna switch to be her.
So
right.
just on that one, just mark my words. That's another one of these I would be very, very, very. I'm very skeptical about this game. Like
I'm
way. This is from a.
I mean, hey, I'll give them this much though. They showed more gameplay than just like this is in-engine cinematic stuff. So I'll give them that much. You saw more actual gameplay.
These guys have never made a game, but like it's a brand new studio.
Yeah. So was Sandfall, and they made Expedition 33
and Black Myth Wukong.
I mean,
Black Myth and Wukong, right? That was the first time studio.
So it was the day before. This one I'm a little bit skeptical.
It could go either way. That's true. I will say the quality seems to be there. That from what we could see, right? The animations, all that. Like you,
it looked great.
Signs. Yeah, it is interesting to Big Mo's point. It's a K-pop star or whatever who turns secret agent. It's very odd, very Korean. But I was like, could this be Splinter Cell? Because it had somewhat animations like Sam would move, and then all of a sudden I see this Asian super soldier guy flying around. I'm like, okay. Then I saw the blonde hair girl. I'm like, this ain't no damn Splinter Cell. So but hey, I'm interested in that. But Persona 4, that was more a foregone conclusion with Persona 4. Happy to see it. Have never played the Persona series. Will definitely get into it because I love Metaphor Refantasio. So I've heard nothing but good things about Persona 4 and 3 and such. So definitely want to get that. Beast of Reincarnation, seeing Game Freak move over from Nintendo to come over here with this, which looks like it could be a banger. I also, by the way, I was confused by a few things. I thought this could have been Everwild at first. I'm like, is that reindeer thing we saw?
Really cool if it was.
Did you think
I thought about it? I did think about it.
I'd be like, okay, you guys redeemed yourself.
Right. And then sure enough, it was not.
Yeah.
I was like, ah.
Because that Everwild stuff from before, I was not looking forward to that.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but that was
because I needed some direction. I don't want to walk around just looking at damn wild animals. What is my purpose here? Right. So okay, Ninja Gaiden 4. We'd already seen it. So I can't get really excited for that. What else? Tony Hawk 3 and 4. Also saw that already. Cannot get re-excited. You know what I mean? Now I do want to play it, but I can't be like, oh man, ooh, they showed this. Like, no, that doesn't do it. Super Meat Boy 3D, hyped. I want to play that. That looks really fun. That's a throwback, right? Because we had the Meat Boy for the 360 era. This one was weird.
Big Man Mo said, "What is Black Myth Wukong?"
You don't know what Black Myth?
It's not on. It's because it's not on Xbox.
Oh, so he doesn't acknowledge it unless it comes to Xbox.
Yeah,
I have never heard of Spider-Man.
That's right.
I don't know.
It's not a thing.
It's coming to Xbox.
Spider who? Right.
There are not for him. Not for him.
There are no ghosts at the Grand look really interesting because I didn't know what the hell was going on with that. I'm like, am I a Power Wash Simulator man? And then then it went to a musical and a mystery. I'm like, what is going on? I don't know. It's like a trippy. That was trippy. Animo did nothing for me. Planet of Lana 2, super hype for that. Love Planet of Lana. So happy to see that with Thunderful. Solo leveling, I love solo leveling. Although that's more of a mobile kind of game, somewhat. It's whatever. Final Fantasy, again, and I hate to say it, good to see it come over. And I say all this in the essence of how I'm happy for it to finally land on Xbox. I couldn't give a damn now, though, because it had been 5 years, and I already got it on PC. I've already beaten 16 on PS5. That did nothing for me when I saw that. I was like, okay, yay, finally, Cloud did a little flip and land. Okay, cool. Did nothing for me, and I wanted it to. It just did nothing for me. I'm happy for those who waited a century to finally play it, I guess. At Fate's End, that was one of my games of the show. Looked dope as hell. Love the art style. Love the combat style. Love it, whatever. It looks very unique. Surprised as hell about High on Life 2. Did not expect that. That was all CG, by the way. That was not gameplay. And nice for the Indiana Jones expansion. That's cool. Clockwork Revolution, as we said, game of the show. Did not expect to see Grounded 2 pop up like that. Actually very excited for that and to leave Riskit behind as he gets devoured by some gigantic
Are you just
spider.
gonna run away?
Yeah,
You're just
I'm
gonna run away
definitely-
again.
Yes, and if Gray is with you, both of you will be left behind. So just to let you know, Gray, you will also be left. And
He
that's
already
it
knew
for
that
me.
before you said it.
Yeah,
He
that's
knows
true.
you. He knows you.
He knew. You knew what was happening. Once
listen,
my black
maybe-
sense kicks in and I warn you, hey, you see the leaves over there moving and you still go that way. That's your ass. That's on you. What am I, Donte? Am I wrong in running away, or you tell me?
Yes.
We gotta band together when we're against the spider. Damn.
Yeah.
Donte left me and Colt behind the other day in division, so I don't know.
Hold on, stop.
See?
What Donte did is Donte progressed the mission and cleared out the path ahead. Okay, I didn't leave them behind. I advanced the mission and cleared a path. Is what I did.
What we call it,
so that's different than good luck, y'all. I'm out because the fight's happening. That's a different scenario.
Yep. He was like, "Oh,
listen,
you dead over there, huh?"
I was like,
Well, that's
yo.
a real shame. That's a real shame.
Yeah. See, you know better than me. Yeah. Thank you for exposing.
That sounds more like a skill issue than it does abandoning the crew. Well, listen, I gave it so Mo, get your caps ready. I gave it a 6, right? For the games alone, it was a 6. Because for me, this was like I didn't like the look of Call of Duty Black Ops 7. That's not Call of Duty. What are you doing?
Hater.
Clockwork Revolution, absolutely love the look of it, but I've seen it, right? We've seen it. We haven't seen that much gameplay. I like that. That would have been a good ending for the show, but it was poorly positioned. I believe Gears of War. Come on, man. So Grounded, I get it. I get it. Like,
what do you mean I get it? What do you mean I get it?
Here's the thing. Why is this just not an update in Grounded 1? Like, what are we doing here? What's happening here? What's
it's Grounded 2.
But why does it need to be a Grounded 2? It's a live service game, right? You can just
Grounded 1 was in the backyard. This one's in a different location. Like why?
But I mean, why can we link it? You know, I don't know. I'm not sure why it needs to be a sequel, but maybe that I'll find out.
I think Sea of Thieves could probably do good if they make a different one in terms of like 2 as opposed to this is just something that next season or something like that. I think the fatigue kind of steps in when you don't kind of re-up the name a little bit. So I think it's cool for them to call it 2. I think that's fine.
I could see season 17, making sense for Sea of Thieves, but I just don't see it fully making sense for Grounded 2. The Black Viking, gangsters, love you all. Holly, Donte, Riskit. A bit disappointed that you didn't
Black
put me
Viking.
first. Says I miss you all, not you, Umbra. Your singing sucks. That's 100%.
Damn.
Boo, and audience chat, boo this man.
I think that Mo might actually explode by the end of the show if he stops typing. We need someone to check in on him because he's not. I'm only just getting started, Mo.
He's going to combust like dude off Big Trouble in Little China. He's gonna blow up.
Quit pissing him off, Riskit. Quit pissing him off.
I'm just getting started. So, look, I could be swayed on Keeper. So that's the new game from Double Fine. So I trust the studio, but I just thought it was like weird. But he's a weird dude. I'm just not sold on it. I was like, I'm like, you're a lighthouse.
That's their style.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not sold, and I wasn't like, oh wow, it looked fucking beautiful, but I wasn't like, oh wow, yeah. I was like, all right. Check it out.
I will say you don't really understand what the hell is going on. You're just like walking around as a damn lighthouse, but yeah.
Right. So what's the game? Like, I get you've got a little birdie thing that does stuff, but like, what's the game? Well, I'm sure it'll probably be good.
We'll get more.
And I'll be.
I think that was just like a little teaser of it. We'll get more.
And they're working on 2 games right now. So Double Fine has something else that's cooking too that'll be out too.
Nice.
Right. What will that one be? Like, will that be called House? Be like House walking around. Anyway.
Housekeeper.
Housekeeper.
Well, it's going to be called House MD, and it'll be house inside of a house from the TV show, and you move around with it.
So Ninja Gaiden 4 looks cool, man. No dice here, but we've already seen it. There was no big announcement there, so
Wait.
Wait,
Hold on, Riskit. Wait, are you going through yours now?
Yeah. Just real quick.
Okay. Because I was like, did Umbra give his score? You gave his score
Yeah, he
Umbra
did.
7?
He said it was
7.5?
it was a 7.
Okay.
6 for him.
He was too busy
Yeah.
leaving us dead in the corner as he
Damn.
ran ahead.
Damn.
Yeah, so for me it was a 6. But so Tony Hawk's Pro Skater again, we already knew that was coming. That was already been announced. So they showed us some more of that, and there's a demo on. Played the demo. It's what it is. It's Tony Hawk, man. Okay, I love the game. Played it back in the day. Animo, I don't know what the hell that was. That wasn't for me. Aphelion, yeah. No.
I actually like that
for
one,
me,
by the way. Aphelion.
Yeah.
Me too.
Do you know what? Which one I did like? I liked At Fate's End. That looks sick. I was like, okay, from the guys at Spiritfarer, there's a little bit of combat here. There's some, you could get me with any side-scrolling Metroidvania 100% of the time. 100% of the
Aphelion
time.
looked
So that
really good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
really good.
I thought At Fate's End was one of my best of the show, actually, At Fate's End.
It looked amazing. Game Freak, that was a surprise with the Beast of Reincarnation. I was like, okay, that's a surprise. Dawnwalker, again, we've already seen it. But, you know, it's great to get
First
another
time for me.
trailer. So
I haven't seen that one. That was the first time for me.
Okay, yeah. So Dawnwalker was announced probably mid this year. You know, from the guys who made Witcher 3. Looks great. Again, already seen it. Chronos looked fucking awesome. That was a good showing. So for me, that was like, let's see some more of that. We had a small announcement for that. So like, again, that wasn't like a full world premiere. I'll come back to Final Fantasy. High on Life 2 looked fucking great. I didn't finish the first one. I think there was too many games happening at the time, and I got pulled away for something else. So I might go back, finish that, come back to High on Life 2 because I did like that game. If they fix some of the jankiness that was in it, it'd be even better. But yeah, Invincible, I'm not a fighting game guy. Mudang, super skeptical. Persona 4, who gives a shit? And I'm just not a Persona guy.
Why you read it off like that?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Oh, hey, wait, is this Call of Duty woman here talking about he's not wrong on this
Yes,
one?
but I'm right. That's the thing.
Wow.
Look at nigga, some selective hate, yo.
You
Some
see this?
selective hate,
Right.
bro.
So Planet Lana 2, that's good to hear, but not exactly a banger. But that was a great
announcement.
announcement. Like, I don't know if you guys finished Planet of Lana, but I did finish it, loved it. Again, you can always
Really
get
good.
me. You can always get me with a side scroller. If you get me with a side scroller, John Awesomeness, I'll deal with you in a minute. Resonance. This was one, but here's my problem with this one. I didn't see a hell of a lot there to show me what the game's going to be. And she's carrying a sword. Looks like it's combat. If you can get those developers to make a game with combat in it, like
What game was
I'm
that?
all for it.
Sorry.
Resonance. So
Resonance.
Plague Tale Story.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that looked pretty sick. I was pretty into that. Solo leveling. Who gives a shit?
Thank
Super Meat Boy 3D revealed. Look great. Yeah, they look really good. No, you're wrong. Persona is fire. No, it's not, Mo. It should be on fire. It should be burnt in a dumpster.
Wow.
It's absolute rubbish.
He said, are you serious?
Go take a nap.
He is not feeling what we're talking about.
So, and again, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy. So I will say this: the hate that Jez got for being right, and then the hate that he got for being wrong when they didn't think it was happening. Like, the dude can't win. I will say this about insiders, and we were talking about this last night, Umbra, as well. Like shit changes in the background, timelines get extended, things happen. So sometimes when a rumor comes through, it may not happen, which is why you got to be pretty cagey about what you hear that you do share and what you don't. And I think people are way too hard on the insiders, and these are the guys that sort of drive the news in the industry. So I think people just really need to back off, man.
No one's gonna bat 1,000, man. You know,
no
one's gonna
one.
bat 1,000. But like when someone, for the most part, has generally credible information that generally comes to fruition, it's weird when I see people jumping on his back.
And listen, if anyone could go after Jez, I could have pretty recently. with that Hellblade 2. I could have rubbed it in his face, like, publicly, but I didn't do that. Because, and we had conversations during all that happening in the background, and he was like 100% sure it wasn't happening, because he was one of the people I went to say, hey, have you heard of this? Do you know that this is happening? And he was like, definitely not happening. I still chose to share that because I had, like I said, 4 different people had said it is happening. So I was like, all right, then I'll share this. But again, I didn't rub it in his face. Sometimes, like, the source that maybe Jez has is not hearing the stuff that other people hear or whatever. And again, I'm not saying I'm a fucking insider. That was just something that was shared to me, sort of purely off to the side.
You absolutely could have dunked him on it, though. But, you chose the better part of valor and letting that go.
I'm not saying I didn't do it in the background. I'm just saying I didn't. But yeah, look, for me, it was a 6. There wasn't a whole lot there for me. Sorry, Mo. I know you're upset. There wasn't a whole lot there for me. All of it's coming to Game Pass. And here's my sort of take on the thing is that, like, again, as I said, they've got a whole bunch of big bangers coming. Like, the cadence is crazy right now. And there's a lot of games that are just going to need to fit sort of through the middle. And I feel like a lot of these games are the ones that are going to fit, in and around some of these bigger bangers as they come. I think 4 1/4 is like, we've well exceeded 4 1/4, and now they're going to need to look for time and slots to stick these in. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having a showcase that's just okay. Like, I'm giving it a 6 because it was okay. Like, I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was terrible.
6 is a D, dog.
I didn't think it was great. Like, I thought it was, the positioning of some of the games, and a lot of the games sort of just didn't hit with me. So, and I get if people do. I'll quickly just do a quick couple of super chats, and then I'll jump to Holly, and then we'll jump into Donte's sort of thoughts on the Xbox. Biff Rinaldi with the $5 super chat says, MGS and Mafia are obviously the games of the weekend. Clockwork looks good, though. I'm worried about the changes they made to THPS, though. Sing it, Umbra.
Thank you, Biff. See, finally a non-hater. Thank you, Biff. Holly, you should turn that frown upside down, because Biff just said something beautifully true.
Read it to me, and I'll define that if it's true.
He said, "Sing it, Umbra." You know what I mean? I could
sing it.
I'm just saying.
I've been in person with Umbra, and I've heard him sing.
Am I good, Holly? Don't hate.
He's all right.
See what I'm saying? She wants to be honest and say.
Except when you try to do the British accent, then we can't be
friends.
What
are you talking about? My British accent is really
Oh, dear God, please stop. This can't happen. This can't happen. No.
Oi, put your headphones back on there, Donte. What are you talking about?
What's up, man? Oh, my bad.
My British accent is quite good.
Oh, goddamn.
Okay,
hold on. It's so bad.
I was being extra on purpose.
It's real bad and regular, not on purpose.
My regular is pretty good. I'm like,
it's not terrible.
You don't need to make it worse.
I want to get a bottle of water.
Live lively, Sergeant. What have we got? Bottle of water. What are we doing? All right. Let's go back. Let's stop.
And the Black Viking with the $4.99 super chat. He says, any more Persona slander, and I'm forcing you to Thailand. Hey, when you mentioned that you're going to Thailand, it's a hop, skip, and a jump for me. I'm considering heading there in December just to say hi. I think you will get as much Persona slander as I can heap. Like, no one cares about that game. The game's absolute trash. We heard ponies. We heard these guys talking about it on Twitter for years and years now. Fantastic it was. And 3% of them finished the game. So can't be that good. Jumping to Holly. How did you feel about the X? Now he's going all caps.
Let's go, Holly.
How did you feel about the Xbox show? Look, as well, I'll just add one more thing. With the hardware that they showed, I bumped my score to an 8. So the show overall got an 8 from me, because that hardware just looks too good. I'm pretty stoked for that. I'm probably going to end up, that's going to be the handheld that I buy. And I've been waiting to see what Xbox is going to do. This seems to be it. Seems to be the thing I'm going to buy. Holly, how'd you feel about the show overall?
I thought it was good. I heeded the Aaron Greenberg tweet of temper your expectations, because last year's show was so good. They went all out. Plus, we kind of know the or before the show, right? We kind of knew the roadmap of some of the games that are the bigger ones that we know are coming earlier, right? Like we knew that Fable had been delayed into 26, so that probably wasn't going to be there. There's also going to, we know that the Gears of War thing, right? We already knew about that. I expected to see more PlayStation announcements than were there, but there weren't. But my expectations were just, hey, let's see what happens. And I thought it was good. Obviously not as good as last year, and Riskit and I disagree on a lot of things, but our taste in games tends to align somewhat a lot when it comes to Eastern versus Western games. He's not wrong. So
It's wait, guys, I love you guys, but it's an opinion. You guys
Well,
can't just single-handedly just say
he's
Eastern
the
games
one
are
that put
bleh.
it.
You guys can't just single-handedly say Eastern games are just because it doesn't appeal to you guys. That's you guys'
No,
opinion. It doesn't make you right. It just means you don't like Eastern games.
it
So
makes me right in my bubble.
shit.
No,
My bad.
no,
Carry
no,
on.
you're right. No, I'm just teasing, of course, right? And you know he is too, even though he would never actually admit that, like in real life or
Yeah.
ever in person or ever really, but you know he's actually teasing, right? They're not for me. The Final Fantasy stuff, which
My God,
should
Black
be a big
Viking.
deal, right? For a lot of people, I could give
I mean, you
to
should have heard the
I could care less.
crowd. The
But I
crowd
am
went
glad.
crazy.
Yeah, and I'm glad for people that really want to play those games and have never had access to them. Like I am happy for them, right? Now I hope you actually go buy them and play them, because that's the question, right? Has it been too long that nobody cares? Just like Umbra said, I don't care. I bought them on PC because it was never going to come to Xbox. So I was good with it. I find it crazy awesome that Obsidian has basically carried Xbox for 2025 with three
They really have.
games.
Hang on, let me. Sorry, I'm going to cut in. John, right? The reason you got blocked is because you're being disrespectful. If you come out here on Twitter and you be disrespectful, you get fucking blocked. You come in my chat and you get disrespectful, you're going to get blocked out of the fucking chat. So keep your shit together, man. Be respectful. You can say whatever you want to say. You can have a go. You can take the piss. I don't mind, man. I'm pretty open. But if you start being disrespectful and calling people bitches, you be the fuck out of this chat that quick, man. You'll never be coming back. So watch yourself. Last chance. Sorry, Holly, go.
Oh, it's okay. He's not actually blocked yet. So, anyway, I understand what you're talking about, Umbra, and I've always kind of said the same thing. Like, why don't block him? So like I get you, right? Like, why do they put these like live service games in the middle? But it's just the reality of how it's going to be. It's always going to be like that, right? It's because that's where some money comes from. So, I don't know. I thought it was really good. I know that some people had some issues in the center. They thought it like lagged out a little bit. And of course, when you have like the ESO and the Fallout 76 stuff and it's not for everybody, right? But I thought Animo looked really fun because I enjoy Pal World. And so to me, I'm like, well, and okay, side note too, over the weekend, we've had 3 games that are actively giving a middle finger to Nintendo, which made me chuckle. Pal World literally set the stage for all of these other game people to really step up. I mean, obviously they've been working on it for a long time. But Pal World took the first step out there, and now all these 3 others are just like a straight middle finger to Nintendo, right? We had the Sonic Crossworlds racing game that like actively called out Mario Kart without directly saying Mario Kart, right? Then they had the Lego Party game, which is just Mario Party but with Legos. And then this Animo is just another Pokemon variation that is going to probably be better.
It looks more polished than Pal World.
How it can make its money before Nintendo steps in and tries to kill it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and good, because
Nintendo
you
lawyers
know,
don't mess around, though. I'd be
Yeah.
one of
Nintendo
these
will
games
sue
gets
you
shut
for
down.
saying
Yep.
Nintendo wrong in your house with nobody listening. That's how crazy they
Nintendo
are with their look
Sega.
out, knock knock knock. But like, I'm glad because I think Nintendo has bad business practices when it comes to how litigious they are about certain things and how they try to copyright literally every game mechanic ever. But
It's ridiculous.
yep, I agree. So I thought it was good. There's a lot of stuff here that probably aren't on my like super excitement list, but there was plenty here that I was also like, yeah, I'll check that out, especially because most of it was on
Game
Game
Pass?
Pass. And
Game Pass?
I'm very excited for that. There are no ghosts at the Grand. I thought that looked really good. I think that's going to be much better than people are giving it credit for.
That's the one with the singing, right?
Yeah, the reggae one.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. The whole show. I mean, what was that COD thing, man? Like, don't do that to my COD. You leave my COD alone. Stop with your shitty
COD
skins and
and
stop trying to change COD.
Oh my
Looks
god, Riskit.
so good.
It
COD
looked good, dude. I thought it
looks
looked
so good. Embrace it. Take the fact off that it's COD, and if you watch that trailer, you would have never thought this is Call of Duty.
cool. Yeah, it looked good.
And if you haven't played,
I want my Call
and
of
if you-
Duty to be Call of Duty. I don't want it to be
If
something
you-
else.
if you have not played Infinite Warfare, you should definitely go play Infinite Warfare. It has a fantastic campaign.
As soon as Xbox, I hope you're listening, Xbox, like one of you guys out there, as soon as you add it to Game Pass, I will.
They won't.
Like, where are my legacy games, Xbox?
That
Give
one's
them to
bothering
me.
me too. That one's bothering
Here's
me too.
even
Like,
the bigger-
get Infinite
They
Warfare in
won't.
there already, dude. Like, why not?
They're not going to do it. And Advanced Warfare came after Infinite. Like, they're not going to do it. It's really sad. But what they honestly, if they would just strip the multiplayer off and make a few bundles of COD campaigns that are like the Warfare series, right? Like do the Modern Warfare in one chunk, right? The old and the new games, and then do all of the futuristic based Infinite, Advanced, whatever in one,
Did
and
you
do
just
the Black Ops series, and
You just
sell
asking-
just the campaigns, just to sell
Are
the
you just
campaign blocks. I would buy those.
did you just ask Xbox to strip off? that what you did?
Oh yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, awkward salutations.
they're not going to do it though.
Yeah,
They
I
Wait,
know.
just
what's
put
your
them
what's
all
your
on
score?
sale.
What's your score, Hollies? Is it
Oh
8?
yeah, 8. 8's probably fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's definitely
Clockwork
wrong.
I've been waiting for since they announced it. So I wasn't surprised that it looked as good as it did today because it reminded me of BioShock from the very first trailer that they showed. And since BioShock is like my favorite game, I was
Yep.
all in from that moment. And it just like to me, this was not surprising that it looked that good, but it makes me chuckle to watch everybody go, wait a minute, this game looks good. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, and I mean, and BV was just saying in the chat like they need to show off, their live service games, the Elder Scrolls, which
They
every
do.
DM, yeah,
Mhm.
the Elder Scrolls, the Sea of Thieves, and Age of Mythology, all that stuff. Like, but yes, I agree. But he just dropped a $9.99 super chat, $10 super chat. Thank you, Black Viking, Absolute Champion. Said Xbox should have a live service showcase in September between the Summer Showcase and Game Awards. Xbox has a lot of live service content to have its own show and not take away from the main shows. And I agree, man. I think they've got enough. They've got enough to drop another show in the middle. Like they've got their direct for what's coming, like start of the year. What about a back end direct? You know what I mean? Or a mid year direct that has their live service and then a back end. I said back end.
For sure.
I said back end.
Back end direct.
direct.
Back end direct.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
He's ready
We
for
get
that trip to
straight to it.
Thailand.
That woke
BB.
Umbra up. That woke him up. He
I was
woke up then.
somebody say
Man.
back end direct.
Somebody-
Bro.
Yeah.
What you say?
Yeah. Hold on. What?
What?
He's ready for that trip to Thailand, BV.
Okay. Sorry. Got sidetracked.
So we got to get into Donte. So how's Donte?
Okay,
How do you feel about the show?
Yeah, let me run through this real quick. I ain't gonna try to hold it up that long. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna talk about the games I want to play. I'm gonna do my thing about what games did you show me that I want to play. Now I understand everyone's feelings about some of these games we've seen already. I get that, but still, when I saw them, I took into account their showing, and also took into account if it was going to be like in Game Pass. So I thought that was helpful, and if it was Play Anywhere. So I don't know why we haven't really mentioned this, but Outer Worlds 2, like no one really has said anything about that, but I thought Outer Worlds 2 looks amazing.
Yep.
High Life 2.
I'm gonna say a little bit at the end there.
High Life 2 looks good.
Yes. Yes.
Blood of the Dawnwalker looked good to me. Resonance looks good to me. I want to get back into anything dealing with the Plague's Tale world, so I'm interested in seeing what that game's about. Yeah, we saw Ninja.
Let me ask you, before you saw the name of Resonance, did you have any thought that maybe
no
it was
clue
Rise?
whatsoever it would be even part of that particular universe, right? So I'm like, is this something that's like a different style of game where it's not, you know what I'm saying? Because like how the play style is for Plague's Tale, so it's like, is this something that could be more combat driven compared to Plague's Tale? Right? Yeah. I know. I'm kind of curious to see if that's the route that they're going, but like, I'm like, since I like their first 2 games, I'm going to give them grace and hope that this one ends up being pretty good too. Ninja Gaiden, yes, we've seen it before, but like, I like the showing of it. I want to play it, so I put it on the list. Beasts of Reincarnation, I thought looked really, really good, so that one is definitely on my list. Grounded 2, I will be playing. I played a lot of Grounded 1. I will be playing a lot of Grounded 2. I thought Aphelion looked good. It seems like one of those kind of like there's certain games where I was like, like maybe it'll end up being like a 8 to 12 hour experience. There's just one game that Game Pass had before that I'm trying to think of the name, but it's like you are on this you're on the moon, I believe, and you're trying to kind of figure out, like, there's some mysteries of maybe some things that go wrong, and it's like a quiet little tense setting. But
I played that.
You know what I'm saying? What's the name of that game? But it gave me that kind of vibe, right? Where you're trying to figure out.
It was something
about the moon, right?
Like it was really good.
Yeah, it gave me that type of vibe. So that's why I thought Aphelion looked good. I love Planet Alana 1, so when I saw Planet Alana 2 being shown, I thought that looked good. Mudang, I'm with you. Like, it looks good. I'm just hoping that it's not fool's gold, right? I'm hoping that it's not like, hey, we're showing you something, but then when it comes out, but I'm going to give them grace. I thought what they showed looked good, except for I thought whatever the kind of the switching to the anime looking girl character was, that one was the one that kind of took me out a little bit, where the tone looked a little bit different from when you're watching the guy who gave you more of the Splinter Cell vibe. So curious as to how that one will be. Keeper looks good, and I'm just going to give Double Fine its grace because they just make good games. So COD, even though I can understand the showing or the placement of it could be questionable, right? I maybe wanted to see that probably open up the show. I still thought it looked good. I still thought they gave me like, I was like, oh, what is this game? And then it's like, okay, it's COD. So it's like if you guys are focusing again on trying to make the campaign good and not just like, hey, here's another COD and here's some multiplayer, I'm cool with that, especially if the campaign ends up being, if they put as much effort into it as they put in the very last one, because I thought the very last one was really, really good. Really good. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's like 12 games right there that I saw that I thought were good, even if they're ones I've seen before. Clockwork looked amazing. If Clockwork wasn't shown last year and if it was shown this year, then that would make it a 9 for me automatically.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm giving the game shown an 8, but because of the hardware overall, I'm giving the show a 9. Because that's like a total package for presentation of giving me something that I wasn't anticipating, which actually enticed me to want to buy it, which is the hardware. And then you showed me a good 11 to 12 games that I'm saying, yes, I'm going to. All the games I played, for the most part, except for I think Mudang, are coming to Game Pass. I don't know if Mudang was one that was already Dawnwalker, right? Dawnwalker, I don't think said Game Pass. I don't know if I saw.
No, it's not on Game Pass.
So Dawnwalker's not, and I don't know if Mudang was either. But every other game is definitely.
So these are the ones coming to Game Pass. Obviously, any first party. Obviously, Outer Worlds 2, Call of Duty, Tony Hawk, Grounded, Gears of War, Clockwork Revolution. So you also have Ninja Gaiden 4. You have High on Life 2, Resonance, Planet of Lana 2, Aphelion is coming to it, which is dope. Persona 4 at Fate's End. That's a W. Super Meat Boy 3D, and There Are No Ghosts at the Grand, all coming to Game Pass.
So no Mudang and no Blood of the Dawnwalker, right?
Unfortunately,
okay. But all the other, but still, so that's 10 games even out of that I'm interested in, that I can play within Game Pass to determine if they turn out to be good, right? So I think that's an impressive, that gets me no lower than an 8 in terms of the game shown, and then you give me the surprise with the hardware. That to me makes it a 9. If Clockwork to me was shown, if this was our first time seeing Clockwork, that would have, and especially if it was placed, like in a prime position, that would have, I thought, blew the shot out the water.
I can definitely see that. Yeah, and this is what I would say too. And I get Mo's screaming in the chat for this. It is 17 games are coming to Game Pass. That is a W. To BV's point, he pointed out the Play Anywhere. All of these are Play Anywhere. That is a W. So I can't discount that. So maybe I'm being a little too harsh, but I think a 7.5 is fair. But I think that's a great point that these titles will go into Game Pass, Play Anywhere titles. Also the problem with the handheld for me too was we had already seen it shown and leaked. We just didn't see some of the details, right? We had seen it just before this. Some of us well before it was even talked about in the news. So it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm seeing what I've already seen.
Yeah.
So that's
for me, it's like I'm seeing something that I had zero interest in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't, whatever. It's not going to be.
And that's why I respect it. Yeah, because like some people had never seen it at all.
What's
exactly.
Up with this?
Yep. And I think, and also too, part of my I think annoyance was, and I know people were like, well, you got to judge it on what was there. Yeah, but we missing games we hadn't seen in so long. Everwild, we have no idea about that. Sure, it will likely show up next year, right? I know the 25th anniversary and everything.
No Halo.
It's going to be great. No Halo. That hurt me a little bit. Again, next year.
I think that's all next year.
Oh yeah,
I think all the things
all next year.
Like the reason we saw no Gears, the reason why we saw obviously
no Forza,
no. I think all that's for the big 25-year anniversary.
That's why I'm striking. I'm sorry, I was going to say that's why I'm so excited to try to go next year. Ollie, we gonna fly out on a co-flight, all right? We and you, and we got to get out next year because it's gonna be crazy. I got to meet all of y'all. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say I wish that, because taking Call of Duty out of it, right? Because it's just purchased, but like, I do wish that Gears and Halo were kind of about like kind of more separated out, like Gears in 2 years, Halo in 2 years, Gears in 2, you know what I mean? Because they're both big shooters and they're granted they're very different, right? But I do kind of wish that they kind of had that consistency where their first party prime, like their prime lineup, which is Halo and Gears. And of course, I know Forza's, don't get mad, I know Forza is a big deal, right? But like, I'm just talking about shooters in particular. I wish that they had a good cadence between those two different studios to kind of always just keep, right, like a shooter of some form kind of going. But it does make sense with the 25-year anniversary to have them both kind of align at that point. I just hope that they don't get in a cycle where you have Gears and Halo within 6 months to a year apart, and then you have another 5-year gap, and then another 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, it would be nice to kind of have those a little more evenly split out to keep the cadence growing.
Or even alternating. Yeah.
Right, that's what I mean.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome to see. So some flowers for Donte. We had a little bit of a discussion way back at a few shows with my belief that Outer Worlds 2 was getting delayed. Doesn't look that way. We'll wait till the release date for the full flowers and the full victory lap, but it does not look that way. So I'll take that on the chin for now. I'm still slightly skeptical about whether that comes, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh wait, you thought it would be delayed? Risk Outer Worlds 2?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's saying 2026. So I mean, so I don't know. So like, I mean, it's October's the date, right? October what, 2nd? So
yeah.
It to me, I was hoping maybe September-ish, right? So whatever, October. Kind of late in the year.
We'll see. The bet.
But I still believe
the bet is for props. We'll see if it launches in October. If it gets delayed even a day, I win.
You said this year. That was the bet.
It was this year.
You said this year.
Yeah, man. Don't try to change it up now.
One more thing I'll add, because I did want to add, I was not interested in Outer Worlds 2 until I saw this showing. Now you've got my attention. So now I'm interested.
Did you play the first one?
Yeah, for about 5 minutes, and then I threw it in the trash. So the
You didn't like
third
the first
person
one?
is what
You didn't
is,
like it, huh?
is third. No, I
His
don't really.
attention span is the size of a gnat. Dang it. It's like-
I'm not
Respect
shooting
my time.
something.
yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
shooting
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. If I don't loan in with a
No
gun, it's
game
boom.
way, no shooty
Right.
shooty there.
God
Riskit
damn.
not happy, no shooty shooty.
Damn. He got relegated to a caveman. He turns you to Grimlock. Risk
but
it, not
it's-
happy.
it was the third person that got me. So they're giving you the option to go third person, and I like that. So I'll do a lot of my exploring in third person and a lot of shooting in the first person. So like I don't want to. I just don't like first person exploration, walking around worlds. I just never have. It's just never been my bag. So it's great to see that Obsidian saw how well they obviously picked up some of the metrics from Avowed. And the third person wasn't great, so I hope they work on that a little bit. Like it was good, but it wasn't like awesome animation wise. So I hope they do a little bit more work with this. Look, I'm interested now, so that was a definitely a positive takeaway from the show because I wasn't, and I was like, oh, direct on Outer Worlds 2. But it was good. It was good, so I can take that back. And if this game gets delayed even 1 hour, I win. It's been an absolutely fantastic show. The chat's been absolutely rocking. All you guys in there that come through and support us every week, we really appreciate every single one of you guys. We really, really do. Try to get down if you're in America. Try to get down in one of these fan events because it's great to meet all these guys in person. So if you can, definitely do that. For me, it's like other side of the world. So I'll be aiming to get to the next one as long as no projects come up that I've got to deal with at work, which was what was stopping me. I was going to this one. Was my plan. And yeah, it's been a fantastic week. You guys have been amazing on the panel as always. Fantastic opinions. Thanks for coming through every week and supporting EV Mux. I mean, supporting the show.
Trash program.
It's not a trash. I'll send him an email.
It's a trash. It's not even trash. It's like the puke of trash.
Umbra, let the people know where. I mean, if you've got good internet, Umbra, let the people know where they can find you, what you're up to, and all that good salutation stuff.
Salutations, everyone. Salutations. Yeah, man. Good show, guys. Good to meet back up and talk back up. Holly, you did not give me my pre-show call. Did not appreciate.
You were here.
Yeah, I mean, still.
Well, you were kind of here.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he was first, man.
Yeah,
He has to break up with his group for a little bit to come talk to us.
It was tough. It was tough to do. I love him so much.
I had to go get it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That said, man, good show. Thank you, chat family, for being here with us, holding us down as you always do. You can, he said you can find Umbra in Thailand. No, you won't. You won't find me there yet. I'll let Riskit experiment with that first and come back with a report. Yeah. But, yeah, thank you all in the chat for holding us here and holding us down. If you all haven't done so, hit that like button for us. Tuesdays, obviously, Xbox Factor with Boom, myself, Jamie Moran. Thursdays, my show, The Fix with Daniel J. McGee, my co-host. On Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern. Then, of course, back here with us at 7 o'clock East. 8 o'clock Eastern, sorry, for the Infinite podcast. You can find me Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite on social media. So hit a brother up, follow me, and hell, communicate. I communicate back. I'm a communicator.
I communicate back. Communicate with me. I communicate back. I don't know if I like the sound of that. If you are going to Thailand, and just a bit of a warning to Black Viking, and you'll know what this means. I'm not going to go into detail, but check first. All right, always check first because that can really catch you out over there. It's
that man has a woman.
That's why he's going. No,
fine.
that's why he's going. he's going for that. Right?
You
just got to make sure. You never know. You know what I mean? You look for bulges. That's all I'm saying. Donte, let the people know where they can find you, what you're up to, and salutations to everybody.
Salutations. Yep. Catch me on the socials. Donte J Moody is the handle. Catch me here Fridays. Hey, thank you guys for coming through again. You guys are amazing in the chat, man. Always rocking with us, having really cool conversations and keeping it respectful. We could not do this without you. So we will catch you guys on the next one. Appreciate you all.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was a little bit of disruption in the chat today.
Just a little bit.
All those guys are welcome, man, if they keep it respectful.
You know what was
Be
dope
respectful.
about that though? But the chat was like, "Yo, dude, what are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? So like that's what's cool about our chat. Our chat saw the dude do it, and they're like, "Yo, man, what are you doing?" So I think that's really dope.
We don't do
I
that
feel
stuff
like it's
here.
somebody who's really unhappy with their life to go and seek out other people just to
Yeah.
come into
To
their chat
whine.
and troll
Said
them.
he was,
It's
they said he
weird.
was doing it in another show earlier too. So it's like, you know,
Oh,
you
okay.
must be
Well,
mad,
there
right?
you go.
So
Yeah.
Their
Takes a
life-
lot of
yeah,
effort
their
to be
life,
that
yeah.
angry.
right.
It does. Yeah.
Right? Well, I mean, they don't have anything to play, so I understand it. Right? So,
It's true.
Holly, let people know where they can find you, what you'd be up to, and also I have dropped Holly's latest video down in the description next to everyone's links. Jump down there and hit the links. Check that out. I will check it out after the show. And Holly, I have notifications on, but I didn't even see it come up, so you need to let people know. We'll share it out in the chat. We'll share it for you. I'm out of breath. Salutations.
Yeah, I made my second video ever. It's on my channel, which is linked to me, and I am a little nervous because I'm supposed to go downtown tomorrow to go to an Alice in Wonderland ballet, and then
wow.
also to an Alice in Wonderland pop-up dinner place, which just happens to be downtown at the same time. But tomorrow they're talking about mass protests and other things happening, and I'm very nervous about going. So if you'd ever see me again,
Be careful.
Right?
Anyway, but I'm doing that tomorrow. And so Sunday
Just wear
I will
green,
be-
red, and white, and you'll be fine. Sorry. Keep going.
You need me to be there to be your bodyguard, Holly? Yeah.
Are you gonna do that? You're gonna sit outside the ballet for 3 hours?
Yeah,
Wait for me to-
I'm gonna have a suit on and everything, my hands folded in front of me, looking at piece of papers and stuff.
So Sunday, God willing, I'll be home and streaming Oblivion because Sundays are for Oblivion. And next week I'm gonna continue Mind's Eye and try to finish up Doom. So anyway, and then I'll be working on my next video, and I kind of have an idea about it, so we'll see how that develops out. So anyway, thanks for showing up, guys, and definitely appreciate all of you. Alice in Wonderland, Magnum, come on.
No,
Know your Lewis
that's
Carroll.
so he's Australian. So there's a song from a comedy guy who sings a song about Alan Bond, and yeah, part of the song is Alice. Alice, who the fuck is Alice? So yeah, it's an Aussie thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
I forgive you.
that's why I got it. No one else got it. Tim Peer with Tim Peer 21 says protest at a show. One hell of a date.
Yep.
Can I invite you out to a protest at a show? You probably get both at that protest.
I am
actually,
not
at the
going
moment,
for the
'cause,
protest. I want nothing to do or be anywhere near.
I
any
would
of
not be
that,
anywhere near
'cause-
that protest.
Yes,
I don't think that would
want
go well for
to.
anyone.
They've kind of ruined my own plans.
So
we'll
I would
see.
say to everyone who's out there near that, just stay safe, man, and be careful out there. Things are getting a little bit heated, a little bit wild, and you can always rely on Trump to keep things interesting. Thank you, Trump, for that. And another fantastic show, another fantastic week, and we'll see you all, I guess, in the next one.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Later.